cigarette smoke, taillights in my head, take it all away. Yeah, I'ma light it up just like a cigarette smoke, taillights in my head, take the pain away. Let it burn, let it burn, let it burn.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back, baby. Welcome back to the stream. Hope you guys having a good day as always. I know I am myself. So I hope you guys having a good day with everything you got going on. Got a pretty interesting day today. Pretty exciting overall. We got obviously that feature premiere for a franchise, which is pretty sick. And then also got some other stuff we can talk about real quick before we get into everything and have a pretty good time. So let's pull up the stream real quick. I don't think they're live yet. We can pull that up and get right into it, baby. So, franchise feature premiere. Excited for everything that's about to come to the game and everything like that. Should be very exciting. And, you know, obviously that grueler we had yesterday was pretty long. So, hopefully we don't got that. I think it's like 90 minutes this one or something like that. So, about an hour and a half or something. So, not that bad. Not that bad compared to yesterday. So, excited for that one. Yeah, I've been updating a lot about the World Baseball Classic on my Twitter, so if you guys haven't gone on, follow me there. I've been tweeting pretty much all day about it, everything about the Classic and everything like that. So it's been pretty exciting to do that. So if you guys want to know any information about the World Baseball Classic, go ahead and follow me on my Twitter, because that's where literally I get all the info from. But it's been pretty fun to watch. You know, we still got some of the standings here. We got a couple games tonight with, you know, the Czech Republic and China, and then Cuba plays Panama tonight. So it should be interesting, and then we got some more games in the morning. So I pretty much tweet like crazy. I was going crazy today on, you know, all the rules and stuff and the standings and tweeting out the games. So I was going pretty crazy on Twitter. So if you want to go follow me on Twitter, go ahead for all the information on the World Baseball Classic, because it's been pretty exciting to cover. Yeah, a couple upsets, like the Australia one was pretty good against Korea. Even the Netherlands are up at 2-0, and even Cuba's disappointment. So a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. I'm very excited about this tournament. I know a lot of other people are as well. So that's why I figured I'd cover it. All that good stuff. So anyone wondering, well, you know, that's what the Twitter has been pretty much for a while. So I still be tweeting out, you know, the videos and stuff like that. But that's what the mainly Twitter is. We're all about the World Baseball Classic. We're going to actually make a video here pretty soon on the Classic. Probably Friday and Saturday. I'm thinking we'd probably make a video about both. So that should be exciting as well. But yeah, I mean, this is like the big thing going on really in the baseball world. So there haven't really been much going on, you know, with, you know, the actual MLB, except all the countries playing all the teams and stuff, which some of those teams have been getting destroyed. Let's actually take a look at some of the scores, because some of those teams have been getting kind of destroyed. I think some of the games are on right now. Yeah, some of the games are on right now. Let's tune in. Let's tune in over here. So who's playing? So Canada's playing the Mariners. Great Britain's playing the wow, they're getting destroyed over there. Colombia's playing the White Sox. Any other games? Mexico's playing Colorado. They're getting destroyed. I saw the Grand Slam. Someone had a Grand Slam in this game for the United States. I don't know who it was exactly, but we can probably find that out. Let's see. U.S. Who was it? Yeah, Arenado hit a Grand Slam with the 4 RBI. So damn, already got to a pretty good start for them. So that's the one who hit the Grand Slam. Yeah, so that game's pretty interesting. Israel plays the Nationals later today. Dominican lost to the Twins. Venezuela beat the Mets. Puerto Rico lost to the Braves. And then Nicaragua played the Cardinals, and they lost. So a couple interesting games going on. I think that's the last time they play. I think all the countries don't play any more games. I don't think. At least, yeah, they don't play any more games after today. So that kind of sucks. But you know, it's all about the classics. So you know, that's what it's all about. So that's pretty interesting as well. I just wanted to cover that real quick before we hop on into the stream, because it's been very fun to watch. You know, I've enjoyed it myself. I know a lot of other people have as well, and it's been very fun to watch on that front. So just thought I'd point that out before we actually get into it. We're gonna pause that music and then we're gonna turn this on. Turn their music on real quick. Yeah. So we got obviously, what did they say? We're starting with a presentation and commentary, quick 60 intermission. Okay, cool. So pretty much, you know, we got the feature premiere. It's presentation, commentary, franchise, and March to October. So presentation and commentary, they said they're going to go over pretty quickly because it's pretty much everything we already know. So that makes sense. And then the franchise part, you know, was massive. I don't know what they're going to talk about new in March to October. I still don't know why it's a mode, to be honest. I think it should replace with online franchise, but that's just me. Because ain't nobody playing March to October. I'm sorry. I don't think anyone plays that. And then franchise, obviously, has got, you know, supposed to have a massive update. We already saw some of those screenshots with the draft and everything like that. I can probably find that picture again. Let's see. I'm going to show franchise. You can probably find it in images, right? Yeah, right here. So we had this screenshot, obviously, of that draft class thing. So expecting some pretty big changes coming into this mode pretty soon, which would be very exciting. So because the old draft system wasn't really that good. You scouted from the beginning of the year to the draft, and then like the accuracies weren't always accurate, or the people you know like get scouted or whatever, they'd go like instantly in the first round. So I don't know. It'd be kind of interesting to see how the new one works. I hope it's a little bit better. So you've obviously seen this little bit of gameplay in the draft. So I don't know. Should be good. You know, should have the new draft and everything like that. And excited to get into it, honestly. Just excited to get into it and have some fun. So hopefully that will be good. Yeah, we're covering pretty much everything. Appreciate the Angel in the chat, always coming in through clutch. Yeah, I'm excited for a franchise too. You know, I think they can work on the mode a lot. I think we've seen in other games, for example. You know, I think NHL's done a really good job of their franchise mode. When I used to play it a couple years back, I really liked it. I have never really played much 2K franchise. I played Madden franchise a little bit, which was pretty interesting. I didn't really like in depth in Madden. I only played a little bit, but I know Chell in depth went. NHL was pretty hard to win in. I'm not gonna lie, and NHL had a really hard skill gap to win in, just because like you gotta get every line ready, you gotta get the goalie ready. You know, there's a lot of things that go over here in that game. But most of the MLB shows, like franchise modes, have been pretty like much the same for the past couple of years. They tweaked like a couple things about them, but nothing like extremely crazy. Is this lagging? Oh yeah, I was about to say. But nothing like extremely crazy or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see what they kind of do with this game. You know, just because like the draft, they said they're gonna change. I hope, you know, I honestly hope, you know, I've talked about the trade system in the past before, but you can still like finesse it. So maybe they'll fix that a little bit. Maybe the money system they'll fix. I don't know. There's a lot of systems they could actually fix. The training probably needs to be fixed for each player. But I don't know if anyone of you guys were there for the Out of Park baseball stream I did. That game. Here, I'll pull that game up. This game has in-depth franchise system. This game got such an in-depth franchise system that it just makes the game just really good to play. You get to go over pretty much change everything about the team, which is kind of crazy. So I don't know, that just made it really fun for me to play that game for a little bit and kind of do what I want. So I'm hoping, you know, we got some good changes coming on in the game. Longest franchise out in any sport game is MLB. Enough tested that the fact I'm in 21-26. God damn. You could sim that much, bro. That's actually wild. I actually didn't know that. 21-26. How are they predicting that, eh? I don't know how they got, I feel like you can predict, like, the next 25, 50 years what's going to happen. Because you could predict some of the changes that are going to be made with players, obviously, who comes up, who gets dropped, with organizations kind of switching and how the rebuilds are going. Some of the teams that are staying at the top. But after that, I feel like, you know, maybe 25 years, I'd say. Maybe 20 to 25. Because after that, it's really hard to tell. But 21, 26, how many championships you win? Like how many championships that guy win? I mean, he was in there for what? Like, over 100 years, 100 and something years. So it's like he was in there for a minute, you know. So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, should have a lot of information going on about this stream and everything like that. So I'm excited to get into it. We'll see what they announce, you know. Anything new? I don't really know if anything new is gonna get announced. Obviously, people want online franchise back. You know, and I don't know if that will come. I really don't. It did say you need a required internet connection for that draft screenshot. So if that is online franchise, that's a dub. But I'm not really sure if that is going to be online franchise. We'll see. Everyone wants it though, so you know, I could see them bringing it back, to be honest. So that was one of the best parts about the mode. So, you know what I'm saying? About to start the yeah, Angel, bro. My guy is in the next dimension, bro. God damn, 2000. No, it'd be. How would you even say? I don't even know, bro. 2127 season, I guess. That's just weird to say. But yeah, so I mean, I'm excited. You know, I don't know what they're gonna add in March to October. I gotta be honest, no idea. Commentary, we've already seen a little bit of the commentary and the presentation, so I don't really know what they're gonna say there. But it should be pretty interesting. I'm excited for this one. Hope you get some big changes because Road to the Show was pretty bad and pretty lackluster, unfortunately. So hopefully we get some pretty good changes for this one, and I'm just excited to get into it. I'm excited to get into it and see what kind of changes they made. Because like the problem with me and franchise, so back in like 17, 18, 19 is when I played a lot of franchise. Like I was grinding hard, you know what I'm saying? Some of the OGs will remember. I played a lot of that, and that was really fun. I think the best team I got was, I think in 2018, when Bryce Harper was a free agent the next year, 2019. I signed him to the Padres. So I had like Bryce Harper in the Padres. I had Will Myers on there. Trent Grisham was on that team. I eventually got Tatis, obviously, his first couple seasons. That team was really good. I had like that team was OP. What's going on, YOLO? How you doing, brother? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, that team was good. I had so I had like Harper and right, Trent Grisham in like center. I had, you know, obviously I had Tatis at short or whatever. I don't think I had Manny Machado. Never got Juan Soto, I don't think. So I had like the worst modern day Padres. So it's pretty interesting though. I'm 104 years into the future right now. Dude, like, bro, I don't even get like how people be playing that. You know what I'm saying? How do you go that far in the future? It's actually wild. Like, who are your players? Obviously, no one you probably know because they're made up characters, right? So you could probably bring like someone that was an A in that first season, and they're probably gone by like, you know, the 5th year. So you know what I'm saying? Because they'd be all dead. They'd be all dead. I think about it. It's just funny. I need a picture to prove it. So post on bro, please post it on Twitter and then post it in my Discord, bro. I'd love to see that. I would love to see that, Angel. Please do that, bro. That'd actually be mad funny. Because I actually do want to see that. Ain't no way you're 21, 27, bro. That's actually wild. But, yeah, Twitch Shops. Oh, yeah. You can claim 3 this stream by watching. Yeah, if you guys don't know how Twitch Shops, open up another tab. Get the Twitch Shops in. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, they've been saying there's some good stuff in there. So, you know, I've been getting all of them that I can get so far. So, that's nice. But yeah, I'm just hoping we get some changes to the franchise. I mean, there's just no way we don't get like any changes. I don't know. The grouping kind of has me nervous a little bit that the fact that they do presentation, commentary, and franchise in October together. I don't know. Sure, 104 years, most of our stars would be dead. Lol, yeah, literally. Pretty much everyone alive right now is going to be dead before that season starts, which is kind of sad and kind of crazy to think about. But hey, we got a minute left. You know what I'm saying? We'll see how we do. But yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping that it's not like underwhelming. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping it's not underwhelming. That's all I want. The Road to the Show was a little underwhelming. I'm just hoping this one isn't. So that's what we're praying for. Here we go. Almost in there. 45 seconds. Here we go, baby. Here we go. I'm excited. I am definitely excited to see what is going to happen in this one. Because the last one, 3 hours. Hopefully it's not that long. I think it's like an hour and a half, though, so we should be pretty good. on the time on this one, because that one, dude, that's one took so long, and it was very boring and then very entertaining at some moments. So yeah, I don't know how they did that one. Let's see, they could change sponsorships as well. That's someone just said in the chat. They could change some sponsorships, which actually I think would be better, because the system right now it's not terrible, but it could definitely use an upgrade. So here we go. We're about to find out. Here we go, baby. Let's go. Oh, this is loud. Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out how good this one is. All right, here we go, baby. Oh, they turned it down a little bit. Just posted on Twitter. Oh wait, Angel.
Welcome to this week's feature premiere. We'll be talking about presentation, commentary,
Here we
March
go.
to October, and all things franchise mode. I'm joined by Kirby and Drew, and later I'll be joined by Clayton and Timothy. Kirby and Drew, how you guys doing today?
Good. Doing great. Happy to be here.
I'm lovely. Can't wait to talk about all of the wonderful things that have been added to the presentation and commentary aspect of the game. So should we just jump right in?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So before we start talking about commentary and presentation, Kirby and Drew, introduce yourselves, because we have a lot of new fans who's probably watching this for the first time. How long you been at the studio, and what it is exactly you do for the team?
Yeah, my name's Drew Irvin. I'm the game design manager.
Design.
A lot of the presentation and commentary. I've been here since 2019, so
Oh damn.
loving every
OG.
minute of it.
Nice. Kirby, what about you?
Yeah, my name's Kirby. I've been here now. This is going to be 23. Will be the 12th game.
And post in the
that I've worked
Discord,
on,
too, Angel, if you
MLB The
can.
Show game. And
I'm trying to see that.
Yeah, so been doing my whole career here, and I've been largely responsible for the commentary in the game and overseeing those efforts.
All right, let's go.
But
just explain who they are?
8 years potentially. I think that's right. 8
And
years.
you've been leaking legends for the last 6.
Yeah, this one said over 90
I did
minutes.
that one time. One time.
So
and I will
we
never
getting
live
any,
it, and
we
I'll
getting
never
any
live it
legend
down.
leaks from Kirby today?
No, you will
Leaking-
not.
Oh,
because
leaking
that's
cards.
unfortunate.
Stephen Haas will not
You know
be
what?
Will not be happy. Steven's over here waving
Yeah.
his head like, no.
Yeah, he
don't
pre-warns
do
me
it."
every year about it, and yeah, I won't live that one
Well,
down.
let's get right into it. Audio has changed quite a bit in MLB The Show 23. What's changed?
Yeah, I think right off the bat, no pun intended, the bat cracks, the glove pops,
Yep.
all the nuanced sounds that you hear have really gone to the next level. We've been in major league parks, we've been in minor
No
league
hate,
parks.
but don't they say this every year?
MLB scouting combine here at Petco Park. Just really
Just
picking
asking.
up
Don't they say that
all
every
the
year?
different kind of audio that comes from a real life baseball game.
At
just
least
spent
Matt
a
Cain is the
ton
new
of
legend. Oh yeah, I
time
saw that. I completely
to
forgot
get
about that.
down to
Yeah, Matt
where-
Cain's in the game.
Whether you're making solid contact
see.
or a foul ball, or the first baseman's catching the ball, or a grounder
Bro.
catching a grounder, like
No
those are all going to
fucking
sound
way,
different.
Or
bro.
ricochets off of the catcher equipment?
Ricochets,
Way, bro.
foul tip off the ump's mask. Like we've got sounds
How
for
the
everything you can imagine.
So
Bro.
if you've been playing the tech tests, you've probably learned some
Bro,
of these sounds.
actually
but let's
mind
take
blown.
a second.
He's actually in that season. What the fuck? That's actually crazy, bro. With the A's too, which makes it even funnier. That's why some of these franchises still go. Oh, it's kind of clean. It's not like his bat broke, no. Poke that one up there. Hey, he's actually in this season, guys. It's actually wild. Let me pull that. He's actually in the season. Look at the date. 21/27, bro. That's actually insane. He's actually in that date. Alright, little field sounds. I like that new scoreboard. The scoreboard looks fire every year. I don't know. Ooh. That's nice. Have to turn that crowd noise down. Oh, that's sick. The scoreboard looks cool though, with the horns and the logo like that. That's fire. This looks sick. They just said dugouts are mic'd? No way. Oh yeah. You're right.
This all sounds fantastic.
Yeah, man, it's been a lot of work.
That's
Just to
fire.
add on to that too, we also have 30 team
Oh,
championship
bro, if you
teams
wanna
in
go
all the
ahead.
Stadiums, you're going to hear a lot more of the fans
Go ahead, Angel.
getting into the game, and those are location specific. So no matter what stadium
Man,
you're
it's
in,
about to
you're
get
gonna hear
99
the chants
everything.
that the fans of each of those teams will be very familiar with. We also recorded a ton of fan yells, so you're going to hear more cheering and jeering from the crowd. And like I mentioned, we were in a lot of real life stadiums capturing these sounds, and just
It's fire.
shout out our audio team led by Kurt and Bandy. They did a great job.
The
Omar,
specific
Steve,
team
Austin,
thing will be interesting. I wonder if the Yankees will do the
with all
current
crowd
call.
audio.
Trying to get more variety and more authenticity, right?
The sheer amount of recording that they did this year for all of the sound effects you mentioned, wide range, everything in the game was just immense amount of recording.
So we've talked about audio. Let's jump to animations, but not gameplay animations, presentation animations.
Presentation animations, and it was one of our busiest years ever in the motion capture studio. I know I saw you over there a couple times, Ramon. We did a lot of our normal player captures, but we really took it to the next level this year. As you'll see in the Negro League experience, we were in there doing a lot of the presentations that you've mentioned in the past. So for me personally, those were really fun to work on throughout the whole process, from capturing to putting them into the games, and just
sick,
seeing
though.
the moments that Bob Kendrick describes in his videos come to life within those presentations. So that was really special to me, and it was just a fun thing to work on.
So there you go.
Beyond that, we just, especially with Jazz on the cover, we wanted to bring more player emotion into our game. Some of the stuff that you see in real life in Major League Baseball, we just wanted the user to feel that, both highs and lows. So we captured just a variety of high leverage situations, more walk-off home runs, but also the agony of defeat with the pitcher walking off the field.
So more positive and negative.
Yeah, you're just going to hopefully see that reaction, both, like I said, positive and negative, and really hopefully cap off those big moments that you see with the appropriate reaction from
So
the
is that
from the
just
players.
for players, or is it for teams as well?
Yeah, it's players, it's teams, it's coaches, it's fans, just to try and really match up with what the situation is with how the players are reacting.
So
on the
let's
field.
talk about one of the really cool
Yeah, I just tweeted it
new
out.
presentation realms.
It's funny, bro.
This new game stage.
Yeah, so that's the other thing we did. We built a stage where we can kind of
Ooh,
pump people up, get
Looks
them ready,
fire.
show who the starting lineups are, do-ups. We can create
that's sick.
any scene in motion capture and put these players on the stage and kind of flex them, show them off a little bit. So when you pop in your new Diamond Dynasty lineup, you're going to see
That looks sick.
your players kind of showing
Like
off.
next
in the
3 up or
stage, and
something? That's
We're
sick.
excited about it, and there's a lot of fun stuff. we
Yep,
can
and you're
do.
going to see this new audio and animation all over the game. Exhibition, Road to the Show, Franchise Mode, Diamond Dynasty, all over the place,
Sick.
right?
Definitely, yep.
What about from the art side? Any changes to the themes?
Yeah, I mean, I know we got some great feedback
Oh,
in the
looks
past
sick.
from the community about what our art team's been doing the last couple cycles, and honestly, they continue to surprise me even with what they're pumping out, and this year's no different. Theme 1, we've always tried to pump that big game national feel, and we took that a step farther. We even branded a game of the week this year, so you'll have game of the week branding for
Sick.
the best matchup and season modes of that week. Global Baseball League is what the mini seasons league is called, and we branded that as well to
Global
kind of make you
Baseball
feel like
League.
you're in a unique.
Oh, so you have
League.
specific
Sick.
art and presentations just for mini season.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
So that'll be all branded.
Forge low tide.
And then theme 2 is what I'm probably
this looks
most
sick,
excited about.
dude.
Honestly, I think the community really enjoyed the team-specific stuff that we brought to them, and we took that a step farther. This year, we created regional networks for each team, so those will be branded.
That's fire.
I'm a Mariners fan, so when I play with the Mariners, it'll say the show Northwest, because it's kind of trying to
Nice.
reenact kind of that regional sports network feel. So we leaned even farther into that. We have tons of elements to back that up.
That's fire.
So those are kind of our 2 themes again. City Connect is obviously an exciting thing across baseball right now, so we leaned farther into that. So you actually
That's fire. The pink
now
Padres
when you use your
logo.
City Connect, it also transitions into the OSD, so those will be colored. When you're San Diego, it might be the bright pink that you see when they're
That does
wearing
look
their
pretty cool,
colors.
bro. That is really
You
sick.
see a lot of that, those City Connect uniform stuff fall through in a lot of the other elements.
And we got some new
My
home
God.
run animations too, right?
Yeah, people seem to like those as well. So yeah, when you see the home run rounding scenes,
Jesus, bro.
for both scenes, they're different, and
You
they're
got
really
made-up
special.
names. That's
Our
funny.
guy Matt on the 3D artwork has just been killing it, and he had another really fun cycle this year. So
What about milestones? Like when players hit different milestones, anything new we're going to see that from a presentation aspect?
yeah, just a bigger payoff. When you're playing modes for a long time and you're hitting these 3,000 hits or 700 home runs, we wanted there to be a little bit bigger of a payoff. So we built OSDs just specifically to pay off those
That's sick.
big moments.
And if you watch the game sizzle trailer, you probably noticed something else new: pre-game flyover.
Yeah, we
Jets,
we knew we were missing flyover, so I think everybody loves a good flyover. So we've got variety of aircraft that'll get you excited.
Variety of
Opening
aircraft.
day, All-Star Game, World
That's
Series,
funny.
big moments like that.
What about Jumbotrons? Any new animations in Jumbotrons?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a while since we updated our Jumbotrons. We knew we had a lot of work to do. So we have hundreds of
That's
new
cool.
Jumbotron videos, laser ribbons. The whole, I think it really brings a different feel to the entire stadium with all the great work that our group did there. So just really killed it with the Jumbotrons, and it's pretty fun just to see in the background, and it really makes the stadium feel.
But that's
a
not
lot
it.
different.
Like, even is there the notification system for Road to the Show? What's changed there?
That's sick.
You'll see in Road to the Show, there'll be. We kind of just organized it better, right, and put everything in the upper
Yeah.
left.
I like
Just
that
helps you
better,
kinda,
actually.
like, have a place to look when you're wondering, what kind
It
of.
it looks a lot
player
better
on
than
that last
our old
play.
system, 100%.
Just a general place to look instead of having to figure out.
Yeah, Grease
where
Car, everything
it's
does
supposed
look
to
really
So I
good so
think it's gonna
far.
be just one of those things that
I like it.
maybe just makes life simpler for the user to just know where to look.
That sounds great. What about the ticker? Since we're talking about season modes, what about the in-game ticker for Road to the Show and for franchise?
Yeah, our fans seem to love the ticker, especially in season modes, where did a really good job of just bringing the storylines that are happening in your
How's that
franchise
strike?
or your March to October onto the ticker. So we've leaned farther into that. We've done a lot with player projections now too. So earlier
That's
in the
sick.
season, we can kind of project how some of the star
It's
players
over
are
10 days and
are gonna
20
do,
hours,
you know,
bro.
guess who the
What the fuck,
Cy
Angel?
Young candidates are going to be, or MVP candidates are going to be.
That's
And it's just a
crazy.
really fun way to immerse yourself in the storylines of that season.
This is
There's
sick.
going to be music to the season mode players' ears. Kirby, how do you feel about all of these
The
changes?
hitting is fixed so we
Audio
won't get
and
robbed.
art
Facts,
when it
dude.
comes to
Facts.
presentation?
I can't tell you,
Can't.
how impressive it is. Honestly, it is.
This game's
to
gonna be
see
so
some of the things
good.
that have come out of the presentation team.
Can't
this
wait, we
year,
got like 2 weeks.
And all of those areas. The presentation team, it's a big umbrella, and it covers a lot of different areas of the game, animation, graphics, audio, a lot of different things, and it's really impressive to see what the team's pulled together this year. I mean, the art stuff that Drew's named off so many things just in the art realm that are just like so well done. Like
It's true.
the art itself
They do
is
look
just
really
so well
nice.
crafted, and it just catches your eye. And in that way, I really think that our presentation looks better than it's ever looked by far. And it looks more,
I'd agree with that.
authentic,
Did look really
professional,
nice.
and like to the quality of what you would expect to see, and even beyond on like a real broadcast.
Nice. And Drew, what is your favorite new feature when it comes to audio, art, and presentation?
I got to say, one thing that we haven't mentioned that I'm really excited about is we selected some specific teams to have their stadium exteriors built out. So like one thing, I'm a Mariners fan, so when I'm in Seattle, I like that feel where you
That is
can
cool,
see
though.
the outside of the stadium when you're walking up. So we picked some stadiums, built out the outside of them. So you see that outside shot that really like brings you
That's
into,
sick.
into
Is
that
Seattle
city.
one of them?
Of course.
Okay, so see the bias?
Most of everyone.
bias?
I
Sorry
definitely
for-
saw
yeah,
that.
I know,
See the
bro.
bias?
Yeah,
Did San Diego
yeah.
Padres get one?
That's sick.
Maybe.
Maybe. see, this is what we be talking about, man.
That's
we can't
cool.
be having all this
I
bias
got-
out here.
Before we move on, I gotta say, like, to Kirby's point with our art team, they've been doing a great job, and I just gotta shout out John G.
I think if they added the rest
Tate,
of them,
Franz,
like,
Reed,
when they-
Matt, and Kevin, because they just pumped out
when the
some
game
unbelievable
continued or
stuff
whatever.
this year. And then I skipped over it earlier on the animation side, but Chris Clements and James and Noah and Nolan and Lauren for helping to put everything together.
Yep,
I just
and
wanted to-
Kirby and Drew for getting in that suit, because we had so many animations we needed to get
We did
for
a
Negro
lot
League
of
Baseball.
mocap this year.
Yeah, we did a lot of mocap. Yeah, like Drew mentioned, in storylines, all the animations you see, the very vast majority of them, like 98%.
Except for
are
the whole
brand
thing,
new
for real?
animations
Bro, I
for
can't
the
wait,
animations.
dog.
We
We
want
got
to
2
make sure that
weeks,
these
bro.
players
2
look
weeks,
and
chat.
perform the way that they
We're
would.
about to be playing.
They're not super expressive. They don't get too down, but they still do, exhibit
It's like
some
15
emotion.
days
So
where
it was
they
a
playing this
very,
game,
very
bro.
big
It's so
undertaking
exciting.
for Chris Clements and the entire
Literally can't
animation
wait.
team to record so many new animations, and we can't wait for everybody to try it out. So we've talked about art, audio, animation, all of these new changes and features coming to the presentation aspect of MLB The Show. New sounds, glove pops, back cracks, footsteps, ricochets off of player equipment, new animations. This new stage, I can't wait for everybody.
Looks
We can't
sick.
wait for you to see this new stage.
Has been should be one of the best ever if it's done right,
It
which
is
so
amazing.
far it is.
We've
Yeah, I
talked about
agree.
art,
I really agree.
a new
WBC, the Negro
The
Leagues
teams
part is like a
continue to
huge
get
thing.
more work.
Like,
What'd you say? You added a new game of the week and Global Baseball League branding. Like, there's so much going on in the presentation.
I can't
So,
wait, bro.
we're going to jump over to commentary changes. Kirby, every year our commentary team is hard at work improving the commentary everyone hears in the game. This year is no different. So, Kirby, let's talk about some of the commentary updates for our fans.
So this will be the second year that we have Boog Shambi and Chris Singleton in the game. We're really excited to have a new commentary team in the game last year for the first time in 16 years.
16
so
years.
New play-by-play, a completely new team. Yeah. So, that was a huge undertaking. So, the main focus this year was to continue to add to the depth and variety of what Boog and Singing are offering in the commentary.
Build that database back up.
Exactly. Working really hard on that. So that was of course the main focus. And then you guys have talked a lot about a lot of the mode support the presentation is focused on. Well, of course commentary is a part of that as well. Specifically we can talk about things like the Negro Leagues project and mini seasons. We've been able to really hone in on those modes and
definitely need for those modes, or they'd be kind of boring.
Specific commentary to kind of build those worlds out. Of course, in the Negro League, it's about expanding on the stories and of
dude,
these
I don't know what to
players
play first, bro.
And
they
the
don't.
Negro Leagues.
Well,
and
not Road to the Show. I'll tell you that. Not Road to the Show, but
incredible job.
I don't want to play first in DD.
Researching
Got the program, obviously, the World Baseball Classic program, the Conquest map, the Negro Leagues. Like, there's so much things to play. Got the Deluxe version? Hey, there you go. Yeah, I gotta buy mine soon. I'm gonna buy mine like probably this week. Get mine in there.
Baseball world, and Drew mentioned that we branded the Global Baseball League.
And another ball. Chris, we've seen relocation take place in the Global Baseball League. The Lemurs moved away from Madagascar before landing in Lima. You think we'll ever see league expansion instead of just relocation?
Well, that's a good question, and I think I know the answer. My guess would be yes.
Well, so we wanted to make sure that
the
commentary reflects that there's this kind of this fantasy global baseball world that so we have a lot of specialized commentary for that mode as well that we're excited about.
Shout out to Ben. He did some really difficult work.
Yeah, and Jordan Carruth was mainly focused on the stuff for the mini seasons or for the Global Baseball League and did a really good job on that as well.
So Kirby, you mentioned one of the big things was continued mode support and just continuing to build up this catalog and database of audio because like you said, they've been doing this for 2 years. We replaced 16 years of commentary. So it's going to take some time to build that back up. You want to elaborate a little bit?
Absolutely. I mean, the main, like I said, the main focus was going to be, looking at all of the areas where we were, where we might have been a little bit thin or where we wanted to, add more content, add more analysis, add more conversation, which I know we're going to talk about a little bit in a second, but basically just kind of add to the depth and the variety of what you're going to be experiencing. So
interesting. Okay.
That's in all areas. And
16 years is crazy, bro. We've got the same guys in there.
Of play-by-play, hit calls, pitch calls, foul balls, ground, everything.
It's a lot of work.
Base results, all of it. There's so many different things that can happen when a ball is put in play. But then you've also got the analysis side of things, of breaking down the pitches, breaking down the situations, the base hits, the home runs, and you have the stuff where they're kind of the in-between, the filler stuff, the conversational stuff, the informative stuff. So it's wide ranging, and so really all of those areas.
And even audio names. We didn't take your name out the game to make anybody mad on purpose.
No, we did not.
You have to understand. They've been doing this for 2 years. We're replacing 16 years worth of data. It's going to take some time.
Yep.
We will eventually have all of the names re-recorded, but it's going to take some time because we don't have a time machine.
Right.
And we still have about 9 months.
And we have a lot.
More names coming. Let's go.
We work very hard in recording. Of course, Boog and Singy come here to San Diego, and we record elsewhere as well. But we have.
Don't we have footage of them?
We do have some footage of them here. Yes, I believe. And but we have limited hours as well. We have to, we have a lot to cover in those times. So we did definitely try to add as many create player names, last names back in as we could. But like you said, it's a process. 16 years worth of names building up over time. We've got thousands and thousands of names. So we tried to be smart about how we prioritize them, and we want to try to continue to get as many of those names in there for all of you as we can.
Hold on, Kirby. one of y'all's name wasn't in the game, or we had to re-record it? Was it Drew's?
Drew thought his name wasn't in the game. He thought I left his name out,
I did.
but he actually just didn't. He actually just didn't find it.
He just didn't.
And I had to show him how to find it.
I spelled my name wrong.
Did he get an apology after
Bro.
the name?
No way.
Not yet.
Not yet. Wow, we holding grudges over here. So Kirby, you mentioned mode support. You know, mini seasons. What's happening there?
Yeah, so in mini seasons, you know, like Drew mentioned, you know, we branded, you know, the Global Baseball League, and we tried to make a lot of effort there. Well, in the commentary side, we wanted to kind of, you know, get you a little bit more immersed in the world of the Global Baseball League and kind of the unique qualities of that.
That logo
league.
does look really
Obviously,
sick.
you
I'm
know,
not gonna
teams
lie.
being
I like
in
that one.
Lima and in Liechtenstein, and I hope Ben thinks I pronounced that correctly.
It sounded like you did.
Liechtenstein.
Yeah, I think it's. Yeah, I think he
And
pronounced it
you know,
right.
so we wanted to like
Liechtenstein.
really, you know, add to the
German.
fun of that mode, you know, with kind of the unique qualities of that, and of course, you know, also diving into some of the stat tracking that's going on in the mode, and so yeah, we're just excited about you know, just having more coverage in that world. And so yeah, with the mini seasons commentary, Jordan Caruth worked really hard on that, and
looks like the kid from
Nice.
Spy
You
Kids.
mentioned Ben's name, and Ben had a
Yo,
very
kinda
possible
does.
task of writing all of the commentary.
Spy
for the
Kids all
seasons and
grown up.
storylines.
yeah, that's right. I mean, we you know collaborative.
Bro, he
effort, of
actually
course,
does,
with-
though.
with
He
your
actually
team,
does.
You know, working
Yeah.
on the new release
It's actually
project,
fucking funny.
but, Ben, you know, was really excited to take that task on, and put in an incredible amount of time researching and, you know, finding more, you know, information and stories about the players, you know, that we're showcasing in year one. And, you know, we wanted, of course, Bob is the star of the mode, and he's the one with the knowledge and the stories, but we wanted to be able to add to that in the moments while you're playing the game, you know, and continue to tell the great stories of these players. So Ben did an incredible job with that, you know, and Boog and Singy had a lot of fun with the content as well. So we've got specific play-by-play for all of those players, and for some of the special parts of the moments that you're going to be playing, and then of course conversations that are really elaborating.
Because the commentaries,
stories.
it's actually different in storylines. We kind of break the
Well,
fourth
yeah.
wall a little. Because
We
Boog
do.
and Singy are kind of along on this journey with you, learning as these
They kind of
players. So
have
it's
to in
not
that
really
mode because they're
structured
trying to
like
tell
they
a
would
story
commentate
on like the other modes.
a normal
So
game, because they're giving you
That
facts,
would make sense.
little tidbits about these players, because they're along this journey with you learning. So it sounds really good. You actually heard a snippet of that during the storylines feature premiere, and we can't wait for everybody
Yeah.
to hear more as they get to play the mode.
That's right. Yeah, and we wanted it to be something where it's like, yeah, they're calling the action and they're calling the play, but we're also not trying to.
that guy in the
say,
chat, imagine a
they're
World
there
Baseball
in that
Classic
moment.
mode,
They're-
bro. Oh my
they're there and they're
god.
kind of like
That'd
getting
be
to relive
fire.
it and watch it, and then also you know tell those stories, you know, of the players.
Way.
That'd be fire. I don't think it would
You
ever
know,
happen
you
though.
hear about a lot of guys who are 2 or 3 sports stars in college. Jackie Robinson, a 4-sport star. He was a Division I standout in baseball, basketball, football, and track.
Oh, and 2 now. Fastball almost got him there.
Interesting.
And I think we can all be thankful that Jackie chose to pursue baseball. As great a football or basketball player as he might have been, it couldn't have matched his achievements on the diamond. And that's a base hit.
Yeah, dropping some more
That's what
facts
you're saying?
on. You're going to learn so much in that mode. And speaking about conversation,
Gotta turn the audio
how
up on
much
that one.
of a focus was it to get more conversational content?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, you know, commentary is there's lots of different areas of commentary. There's the play-by-play, there's the color, and then of course the conversational stuff is, you know, needed to kind of bridge the gap between those things, and you know, and also, you know, not have it be just all about the play-by-play. So we really wanted to focus a lot on conversations this year.
That's good, though.
We
That's
built
good.
a really good system for conversations last year in year one with Boog and Singy, and you know, we wanted to really utilize that system, you know, that's working behind the scenes to drive those conversations. We wanted to really get a lot more depth, focusing on players' stories, the information that, you know, of what players, you know, where they've come from and what they've done in their career. And
I said
just
haven't had the
interesting
commentary
facts
on
about players.
turned on
A
since
lot of research went into
2020,
that.
bro. God damn.
And Jordan Caruth, I mentioned before. He did
I
a lot
feel like I
of
turned
research
off
on
too.
that sort of
I
stuff.
don't think I keep it on very
We also have
long.
a lot of stuff that's going to be dynamically driven, conversation stuff that's going to then change, you know, about the players as you go through your road to the show, your franchise, and that sort of stuff, so that we're going to be able to, you know, update on how many years players have been in the league and what awards they've won and all that sort of stuff.
More season mode specific commentary.
Right,
you know,
that'll be dynamic.
Stuff,
right.
So it stays up to date. You know, Drew, what are you really most excited about when it comes to commentary this year?
Yeah, kind of that, like what Kirby said. I think there's just a lot more depth, and like it feels like the knowledge about what's happening in your game, in your league, on your team, with your road to the show player. We're just a little more aware, and to Kirby's point with those player facts too, it's great to lean on Boog and Singy, who have been around Major League Baseball and on Major League Baseball fields for so long, that they can add, you know, their own anecdotes and stuff. And I learn new stuff just by playing the game and like listening to what they're talking about with certain players.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like, I think that, you know, able to lean on, you know, two really professional announcers that know the sport and know the league very, very well. So, you know, vast majority of that content's not scripted out. Of course, we're working with them in the recording sessions and directing and whatnot, but really, you know, allowing them to, you know, speak about the players and talk about the things that they know about them and what they appreciate about them.
Yeah, they're adding the color to the commentary.
That's well said.
Yeah, so like Kirby and Drew mentioned, doesn't matter where you're playing this year in terms of commentary, whether you're in Road to the Show, franchise mode, exhibition, storylines, mini seasons, or Diamond Dynasty, a lot of focus have went into making sure we have way more content to really make you feel engulfed in those modes, because at the end of the day, we're trying to make the best video game possible, and audio is a very, very, very big important part of that.
Yeah, and a good example of that is something what we're calling a basic offensive analysis. So regardless of what mode you're in, we want to be focusing on how the offense is performing as a whole, as a lineup. In the
talking
game.
about nothing
and
important, I don't think. Probably see my fielding right now. Bro, what is this guy talking about? What is this guy talking about? This guy Angel is faded all the time, bro.
Both good and bad.
How are you practicing, bro? The game's not even out.
Welcome back, bottom of the fourth, and here's the first base.
There's some more commentary, right? Yep, more commentary.
You know, these Padres, as this game goes on, have to be more disciplined at the plate. So many of their outs have come from weak contact on pitches. They're chasing.
Yeah, it's more commentary stuff. Do we need franchise? I'm sorry, I like the commentary, but I need franchise, bro.
So that was something that we spent a lot of time on, and really focused on the ability to kind of, you know, branch that conversation out.
It was fun. I just thought of thinking about all this work they're putting into this commentary stuff, and people like me are just gonna turn it off.
So again,
you know what I'm saying? Or other people are just gonna turn it off, like that one guy says that this is 2020. So yeah, it's a little unfortunate.
And the other thing with that offense,
or I turn it like all the way down, pretty much. You know what I'm saying?
To you, the user. So, you know, if you're hearing the analysis about your team and your offense, and you're hearing that, like, there's, you know, you're struggling, or the offense is struggling because they, you know, already had, you know, 8 first pitch outs, swinging that first pitch too much, or if the chase rate's really high. You know, those types of things can kind of be kind of a hint to, you know, maybe adjustments to be made, you know, for you to kind of help your offense perform better. Or the flip side, you know, if you're hearing it about your opponent, you know, kind of hearing a little bit about what's working.
I have so many questions.
In terms of,
man, just went on the tech test for 5 minutes to practice fielding,
How would
bro.
you sum up MLB 2023's presentation?
I'm surprised you can even play it still.
It's our best yet.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I think it's absolutely our best yet. All the things that Drew mentioned visually are just, you know, really stunning, and something that you can pick up on right away when you're looking at the game, or if you play the tech test, or you're looking at any of the videos that we're putting out. Like, you can see a lot of these things right away, and it definitely you know, adds a lot of professionalism, I think, to what we're doing.
Thanks, guys, for your time. Anything else you want to add?
Next audio up real quick.
I just want to say thank you to our team, and specifically the guys I work with on commentary, Sean Sparbori.
All right, is it time?
Ben, Jordan, I mentioned, Scott DeLuca, Justin Cran's a new addition. Like, we've been, you know, it's a big time team effort, and it really does take everybody. You know, Heather Simmons as well. She does so much transcribing of the content to make sure it's all ready for closed captioning, and she really edits a lot for us as well. So it's a big team effort, and I just want to thank all of them for their continued professionalism and effort.
Yeah, I named a lot of the key contributors earlier as well, and just a thank you to them. And I mentioned I think it's our best ever, and it's because the
shout out to them for working on it, though. Can we play offline? Oh shit, see, I didn't even know that. I think I've been deleted it.
our continued pursuit of perfection on the presentation.
I think I've been deleted that
We're
one.
gonna keep getting better and keep delivering. Really,
6-minute intermission. Take a drink before we're the
So we
show.
want to thank Kirby
Or
and
franchise
Drew
in
for
March,
joining us, talking
October.
about presentation
Bro, I
and
need it.
commentary, But
I
we're not
need it.
done. We're going to join in Mr. Timothy Barnes and Clayton to talk about March to October and franchise mode.
Control room calling here. Time for a quick intermission before we
Intermission?
move on to franchise and March October. Go grab a snack or refill a beverage, stand up, and stretch out those legs for a couple seconds. We have over an hour with Clayton and Tim talking about everything.
God damn.
March October.
I guess it's been
the new draft and
well, it's been 30 minutes. So I guess that makes sense. An hour.
Already, make sure that your account is linked to carry
That's
your
fire.
progress across all the platforms that you play MLB The Show 23 on. And if you're watching on Twitch,
Hours far, the new draft system, dude. This might be good. Chat, this might be it. This might be it, chat.
Show.com to learn more all about account linking.
Well, they spent 30 minutes on the presentation and commentary. Get March to October like a good 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And then we're in franchise, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? Hours indeed nice, bro.
Now on to Ramon, Tim, and Clayton for franchise March October. Thanks for watching this week's feature premiere.
So we just got finished talking about all of the presentation and commentary updates coming to MLB The Show 23. But we're not finished. We're going to talk about the updates coming to franchise
go.
and March to October with my good friend Timothy and Clayton. How are you?
Here we go.
Good, buddy.
That logo looks fire, by
I
the way.
am fantastic. Tim, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
So Clayton and Tim back on the stream. Clayton, tell all of our new fans out there what it is you do for the team and how long you've been here at the San Diego studio.
Well, I've been here too long to mention at this point, so we won't get into that. But I'm product owner and senior designer on franchise in March, October.
Nice. Timothy.
I'm a game designer here. I've been here for 2 years, so this is my sophomore season. Ready to go.
It's been 2
Sophomore
years already.
season.
2 years.
Oh
It's
my
wild.
goodness. So before we really get started, Clayton, anything you want to say?
There are a few things. I mean, we're going to jump into this new amateur draft.
The draft.
But when I say amateur draft, it's a bit misleading because we're talking about a new scouting system,
Ooh.
new amateur scouting system, I should specify there. We're talking about a new draft day experience.
It's good.
And then we're talking about a new amateur signing system. as
Okay,
well.
okay.
Now, everything you're going to hear today, I want to just make this clear that it's in March to October and in franchise, unless I specifically say otherwise or Tim does. So they're in both modes. And then, so let's jump in. Now, the CBA, even before the collective bargaining agreement, which is what the CBA is, was announced, we knew there was going to be actually quite a bit of work involved there. Because we're talking about, and
got
Tim will
faded.
touch on it in a minute, we're talking about stuff like universal DH, we're talking about a new postseason format. And these things may seem like small asks and small pieces or additions to the game, but really they're part of the underlying logic of the game. And anytime the underlying logic, or we built on it year after year after year, anytime we change core pieces of that, it's by no means a small ask.
Crispy,
no
give me
such
all
thing
my
as
franchise
small
order now,
changes in
bro.
video games.
Exactly, especially with franchises. Franchise, the logic essentially drives, all the modes in the game, right? So just quick shout out to our engineers for the hard work they've done there on
Appreciate
the
them.
CBA changes.
Absolutely. We have some of the best engineers that are working on our team, doing a great job. We are so impressed and happy to talk about what we've done this season. So let's jump right into CBA changes. And like Clayton had mentioned earlier, these were big lifts. First one was the Ohtani rule. This is one of those things that's been multiple years in the making. It hasn't been an easy thing, but this year Ohtani will now
Dude, that's
hit
actually
and
wild.
pitch
They said
in
it's
the
not
same
an easy
game,
thing. That's like
and
crazy.
our universal DH rule is completely implemented.
That's how
we now have
like
the
crazy it was
NLDH
locked
Silver
in the
Slugger
game.
Award winner
Think about
will be
that.
in our game.
That's
The new
wild.
playoff format was
My God.
added as well this year, and this,
Finally get
again,
this.
hitting on what Clayton had said, this was huge. This was a really big lift. We heard people, we understand that
Yes,
they
we
were
wanted
looking
it.
for it right away,
Yeah.
but this became a really big adventure for us because we had to add in things like logic changes that occurred because of trades.
That's crazy,
More teams are in contention, so we had to make sure that that worked correctly. And we also have updated tiebreaker logic for MLB and minor league baseball.
Okay.
I'll just jump in for 1 sec. So the reason it's such a big ask is because stuff like the playoff format, it touches like in-game, it touches like presentations, audio, it touches even loading screens, you know, let alone the front-end logic. And
it's a quote-unquote new trade logic. It's funny.
And back onto that, we also hit on some AAA realignments, minor league affiliations.
Okay, that's good.
Names, they reflect real-life changes.
That's good.
We've updated our CBT thresholds, which are the collective balance taxes. Our minimum salaries have been updated. Touching on our draft that we're going to be talking about here in a few minutes, we moved the MLB draft to the All-Star break to reflect real life.
Yep.
We updated with balanced schedule, and now we have a draft lottery that takes place under the hood each offseason.
Thanks for that quick update, but we got.
Why didn't they leave that out, bro? Why didn't they leave that shit out?
Like you mentioned, though, tiny rule.
It's the one thing that'll leave out, bro. Come on.
New draft lottery, AAA realignment, and
draft
so
lottery's
much
dumb as
more.
fuck.
So let's get right.
It's all good though. We got
into
good
it.
updates. It's all good. Let me lock in.
March to October
got some good
this year.
updates.
So many good things to talk about. Let's dive into some.
I don't like the draft lottery. W draft lottery. What am I saying?
From the logic side of things, the player and trade metric, you know, it came in a few years ago. It's been a big change to our game as far as like trade logic,
not the trade logic,
contract systems. But there was a situation that we noticed where players that were at or near their potential, it was kind of overvaluing them. So we corrected this, and it's going to go a long way to make our trades that much better, as well as rankings and contract negotiations. So we're excited about that.
And with that said, what I'd like to emphasize is that trade
is subjective.
Just like in real baseball, every GM can be criticized for every trade that occurs. It's the same way in our game. Our game is looking to make realistic trades and value players based on contract, potential, overall.
I'm trying to see that system in 2K where they get like the angry Twitter comments.
I think that we've made some good adjustments. We keep tuning.
Imagine.
Tweaking.
Yo, this GM is terrible. That's a terrible trade.
Sounds amazing.
That'd be fire.
Trade logic improvements, more player and trade metric improvements as well. What about roster tuning, Clayton?
Yeah, roster tuning. We did another pass on player potentials and essentially the primary positions. We didn't want a whole.
I wish they showed like something, bro. Just like telling us, you know.
And we also made some adjustments to kind of factors and coefficients, stuff that go into the overall player rankings. So there can be much more accurate player rankings. You know, if you shift from
it's a DLC for franchise, yeah,
like you did previously, and we kind of felt that relief pitchers were overvalued, so we've tuned that down. And just globally, we've kind of shifted towards more realism, where the attributes, you know, the overalls are more leaning towards offense versus some positions like catcher and shortstop and center field were a bit too heavily skewed towards defense in the past.
Okay, interesting.
Also, we worked on updating our market sizes to reflect some of the trends in baseball. Obviously, now you've seen what the Padres are doing in baseball. We're trying to hit on that. We opened up the Padres budget and made them more of a large market team with other adjustments.
That's good.
I know, right? We also updated logic for our top 50 prospect rankings. So now you'll see what looks like to be, for us, a very realistic top 50 rankings. And one small little feature that we added as well, we noticed that we didn't have the ability to access transactions in the offseason and playoffs. We put that back into the game.
Hey,
it's good.
You got the ability to access the transactions in the offseason and playoffs. That's also new. What about the amateur draft?
So the new amateur draft we'll get to, like I said, soon. But one thing I did forget to mention that is
just slandering the game
part
in the chat
that comes along with the amateur draft is our new prospect generation logic.
Can we see something?
Say that one more
for
time.
the love
we
of
got
God?
New prospect generation logic.
Can we please see something?
New prospect generation
What
logic.
does that mean, Tim?
Oh, this is going to be exciting. I'm pumped for this part. So one of the features that we've always wanted to touch on and improve was our player generation, and this includes our prospects, and this is the biggest part of our feature that we're going to talk about in a few minutes. We wanted realistic draft classes and distribution.
That's good.
And what that means is, in the past we had high school, we had college. Now we break it down individually by class. You are going to now see high school seniors, JUCO players. You're going to see college juniors, college seniors. You'll see them all here. And what we're going to see more
4-year freshmen.
4-year freshmen. We'll see 4-year freshmen. We'll even see the eligible 21-year-old sophomore in our MLB draft this year.
So we're not just going to see a draft class where everybody's 22 and 24 years old anymore.
Or 26, Ramon. Or 26. That's gone. Those days are over. We have simulated real baseball now. You're going to see a much younger draft class, a lot more 18 and 19-year-old prospects in the draft class.
This guy Crispy is hilarious.
It was so crazy
chat,
in the past to be drafting players, and you're looking at 8 potential guys. They're in low 50s, but they're 22 years old. And you're like, they're not going to be able to develop. By the time he's 27, 28, you know, he's not just going to be there. So this is a major, major change.
Those days are gone. So just to tag on here, I mean, you won't, even though we're creating 4-year freshmen and 4-year sophomores, they won't be a part of the draft, but they will be there in subsequent drafts. And if you had scouted them as a high schooler, well, you can.
That's interesting. You could follow them.
Oh, so we're going to see more prospects that aren't in this coming draft, but they'll be in subsequent drafts.
Exactly.
Correct. You're going to see some players move from draft class to draft class now this year. Instead of recycling and completely eliminating each draft class each year, you will see prospects that are undrafted be available the following year.
All right. And what about this diamond in the rough and bust logic?
Well, this is interesting because this is one of those things that I think that we've always wanted to hit on. And what I mean by that is in baseball and the real MLB draft, there's the occasional guy that slips in the draft who becomes a superstar. And you can look at an Aaron Judge type of a player.
So many times.
Late rounds drafted, becomes a superstar player. And you also see those other guys that are drafted higher and they become busts. We simulate that now with some logic, and we'll touch on that a little bit more when we hit into our scouting feature.
That happened to Trout, happened to Jeter, happened to Betts, happened to a lot of guys, bro.
When it comes to draft and injured players, like you mentioned, we have fog of war now with injuries, but specifically, how does that play into this injury effect logic?
So the injury effect logic is kind of going to be our first piece of fog of war that we're introducing this year. There will be a few more pieces later. Fog of war is essentially creating some mystery, some unknowns, some challenge. In the draft class, there are injured players. You can draft them, but there is obviously an additional risk because
they're injured.
After you draft them, it could turn out that their injury is long-term, which means it has a long-term effect on their OVR and potential. So they probably will never reach the heights that you expected them to be when you draft them. The one side that could be a positive is that players with injuries could fall further down the draft. You know, so you could draft an injured player later in the draft.
Take a risk, yeah, you could.
He should have been a first-round pick. He goes in the 3rd round, and maybe the injury isn't a long-term deal, and you end up stealing that player.
So there's some upside to that.
Exactly.
Okay, so this feature we're excited to present. This has a lot of.
I want to see some gameplay though, like something, menu, something.
I just dove into with our own design ideas. We also met with front office personnel.
Okay.
We met with scouting directors, and the purpose of that was to try to get the game to be as realistic as possible, but also provide that risk reward in our game.
Yeah, and we talked about the the distribution of the draft classes, the ages, and what have you. But essentially, what's happening now is after your initial draft class. Subsequent years, essentially, 90+% of the players that come in are going to be like 18, 19-year-old high school seniors, stuff like that. Like realism, we want a realism.
Okay.
And so basically, undrafted players, go back into the draft, but then you're introduced this new crop of 18, 19-year-old high school players.
So no more draft classes with nothing but 22-year-old kids.
No more of that.
Music to every franchise player's ears. So, Tim, bring us home. What are the big things to remember when it comes to the changes to realistic draft classes and distribution?
So we're excited that we have now initial draft class ranges that range in age from 18 to 23, and it leans to the younger players. We're going to generate now high school seniors, JUCO 1, JUCO 2, 4-year freshmen, 4-year sophomores, 4-year juniors, the 4-year seniors, and any sophomore that's 21 is also draft eligible. Those players as well, even if they're not drafted, will age and they'll move on to each draft class, moving on continuously.
So let's look at the new amateur draft and this new risk reward scouting system. What's going on here, Tim?
Hey, I'm excited about this, and I think our community is
pretty good so far
because this is a huge feature. It encompasses so many factors. It includes scouting, it includes drafting, it also includes signing bonuses. Ramon, did you hear that?
Signing bonuses.
And the player generation logic.
That's sick.
So we have a lot of different things going on here. We're going to start right in playing the game. We're queuing up our dev kit here. We're going to jump into scouts. So obviously you can't have a scouting system without scouts. So with that being
Remaining
said,
scouting budget,
we
that's
made some
fire.
adjustments to our scout system. First thing you're going to notice is now instead of
This
4
looks
scouts,
so good.
we have 3. And with that being said, we've also improved our scouts. We've improved the
One less
scouts
scout.
attributes, and we've
This looks
also
so clean. It looks
adjusted
so
the
much better. Oh my
salaries
god,
of
it
our
looks so much
scouts.
better.
Scouts making $2 million a year, Ramon, wasn't realistic, and we had to fix that problem.
So I see you have salaries here that are much more realistic with what you'll see in real life.
We do, and let's touch on the new mechanisms for these attributes here. So, for Frank Pyle and all the other scouts on the screen here, you can see efficiency. Essentially, that's the rate at which you scout
I
prospects.
don't know if these are realistic
That's how
people,
fast you
but
scout prospects.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. There's discovery. We'll skip over pictures. We'll go to discovery. Discovery is just the rate at which you discover undiscovered prospects.
Prospects that aren't, on your list.
Exactly.
Okay,
No, they're not
interesting.
on anybody's
They're not on
list.
anybody's
They're not on
list.
the MLB Central's list, which
Okay.
we'll get to
Mm.
soon.
MLB
And these
Central.
last 2 attributes, what do they mean?
And this is another piece that's going to dive into the fog of war a little bit. So, pitchers and position players, basically that's the accuracy at which your scout.
that first scout sucks,
Yeah,
bro.
So just like in real
Jesus.
life, not every scout is 100% accurate. In fact, most of the time they're not
Mhm.
accurate.
It's hard to be accurate. Like it's actually hard.
But so for pitchers, if you're scouting pitchers, you might want to include a scout who has a high pitcher attribute, or else you could be misled in the ratings for
Get
that
some bad
pitcher.
info.
Yeah, and same for the position players. So keep that in mind when you set your scouting.
Like that
tabs.
old scouting report from Mike Trout, like a few MLB The Shows back. Yep, so here now the scouts
That
are
was
making
trash.
realistic salaries, and you've actually changed what all of these attributes actually do. So what are we jumping to next?
All right, we're gonna back out of here, and we're gonna get into
looks good, though.
the scouting screen. So you can
it's
see here,
changed a
we're just gonna
lot.
talk about it freelance here. So you have 3
Priorities.
sections here. You can assign.
interesting.
You have 3 scouts, so you can do 3 tasks per week. I know that franchise is such a big mode, and there's so much to do in there. We personally weren't loving making people go into the scouting screen and set their
so
assignments every
annoying.
single day.
So
It's just too
annoying.
much. It's cumbersome. So right now you can set your assignments once per week, which kind of adds a bit to the strategy. It adds to the risk reward element. So be diligent on what assignments you're setting.
It's not
So
bad.
with that being said, Clayton's going to jump in here to the scout assignment screen, and as we go
That's
through
what you just
this,
explained.
you're going to see that there's one new thing that we have this year, and that is we have the option to scout a position. We didn't have the option to do that before in the past. This year, if you want to send your scout out, you can send them out to survey a group of players in a certain position to get a scouting report, maybe not as detailed as if you scout an individual prospect, but you can still get some scouting of that position.
Right.
That's
so
sick.
Scout position's new this year.
We're gonna have to test all
You
this.
choose the position. You
Me and my
choose the
Rockies are gonna
region,
have to
you
test
can
this one.
Essentially, scout all of those players in that position. Scout prospect, is just scouting an individual prospect at a time, and like previously, discover new prospects. You're just trying to find those players that aren't on any ranking list at this point. So let's set something up here. Let's go to scout prospects. Well,
As Clayton's doing this, I want everyone to understand that our ratings are very important here for these scouts. You want to be smart on how you handle your scouts, setting them up to use their maximum attributes. So if you see a scout that has a high discovery attribute, maybe that's the scout you send on a discovery assignment, and vice versa for other
Well, yeah,
teams.
obviously.
That's a great idea. My Texas Rangers want to discover some new prospects. You see Lou Flores here has 94 discoveries, so it makes sense to send him out on a discovery assignment. So we're going to click in here. My Rangers, what are we looking for here? Tim? What do my Rangers need?
Well, Rangers always need pitching.
I
Always
don't
need
know.
pitching.
We got starting pitching now, so let's look for maybe a pitcher, but we're primarily want to choose like a reliever if we can. But we'll do pitchers, and we'll go to the international region. And we'll set up that task.
If I rebuild the team, it's numbers 30 in the game.
You can see here he is.
I think it's the
set in
A's.
the
Pretty sure it's the
first
A's again.
Slot, the top priority.
It's A's or Nationals, I
Up
think.
top, you can see above where it says discover new prospects. You can see up to 4 players discovered per week. He has a pretty
1
high
week of
discovery
14.
rating, so that's
Interesting.
a decent amount of players that he could.
You only
possibly
scout during the beginning of the season to the draft, like
So moving on
last year,
from
because that would
there,
kind of
let's go to
suck.
Priority number 2. We'll jump back in, look at our scouts, and I see Gene Papas has a 97 efficiency, Tim.
That's awesome. So let's scout a prospect here, Clayton.
He also has 88 for position players and 81 for pitchers, so it looks like his scouting report should be pretty accurate.
And with that note, no matter how good your scout is, just like in real baseball,
this is your actual picks now. That's fire.
Can have some errors in their scouting reports. They may not always be accurate. One of the
It's
things
only a matter of time until you can trade those
discussing,
picks, guys. I'm telling
scouting
you.
function and feature
Scouting
with our
scale?
scouting directors.
Okay.
Every team, every
So you get the
organization
potential
has a
and then their
different outlook on
overall
prospects, and you'll see that
scouting
we're
progress.
using 30-team control, and maybe we can jump in and show you some of that later on, how different teams evaluate players. But one of the examples that we have was Derek Jeter, Colorado Rockies, had a totally different scouting report than some other teams, and that was some of the information that we gleaned this summer when we talked about
Interesting.
that.
So we're jumping in here to the
Maybe the
prospect
Rockies were
list.
scouting Jeter.
Top left, you can see Rangers draft picks. Just gives you an eye to where their picks are. The Rangers lost their second-round pick. A notable pitcher or two said they seem to have lost their second-round draft pick. Also, notice that the Rangers are number 4, so we'll touch on this again, but we also have draft lottery logic in
And
there.
this, just take a minute here. This is an entirely new screen.
This is entirely
Everything
new
is new
screen.
here.
Everything is new, yeah. So Rangers drafted number 4. They should have drafted number 7, but they moved up in the draft lottery. We have that logic in under the hood, so
It's cool. I wonder how that's gonna work.
And that
Like, I
happened
wonder if you
with
see it happen or
Johnson,
just
correct?
happens. You know what I'm saying?
it happens usually during the winter meetings. That
Winter
time
meetings,
frame, but
okay.
it'll be set by the time you enter the draft
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
You see the bonus allotment in the top left. Now, we'll touch on this a bit more later, but every pick the Rangers have, you see round 1, number 4, round 3, number 82. Those all come with a slot value, and every
Okay.
slot value adds up to what the Rangers bonus allotment is. And then on top of that, teams can spend 5% above the bonus allotment, so that comes out to 9.49 million. So that's how we got 9.49 million
Okay.
for the Texas Rangers.
Makes sense.
Bottom left, you can see positional rankings. You see the Rangers need relief pitchers, closing pitchers. Third base, not sure they have a top prospect there, but left fielders and right fielders is also a need for the Rangers.
Yeah, so let's go ahead,
Interesting.
Clayton. Let's pick a player. One of the things that you want to recognize here, it's
This is
since
so
we're limited
sick,
to the
bro.
number of scouts that you have. You have 3 scouts,
3 scouts.
and we have 14 weeks that we're doing our scouting. You have to be very judicious on how you're scouting. If you go and scout players outside your draft ranking or draft position, it may be wasted scouting. So Clayton has to be very smart, looking at his MLB draft rank, looking at where he's looking to gain a
Oh, I see
prospect.
what you're saying.
He has to
Okay.
be kind of conservative on his scouting.
So he's got the third
Yeah,
kid. He
we
might
are
go
here
third
to
instead of
maybe,
4th. Okay.
Chat about those colorful ranges this year.
Yeah, so like we just mentioned, this is brand new. This is our brand new amateur
This is really
prospect player
interesting.
card. If you look at this,
Attributes.
there's a lot of
present,
information on this
future.
screen, and what you're going to see on this screen.
He's got good speed with
is
terrible
on the
fielding,
upper
and
part
then
of
he's
the
got
screen, you see
decent hitting
potential
with
and overall,
contact.
you
Not
see
really a power
ranges
guy
there.
though.
And what those ranges are, they symbolize
So that's what I'm getting from that.
the fog of war, what that player's potential or overall possibly can be. And there's a range there. It could be higher, it can be lower. There's also fog of war in that, in fact of you may see that there's players that could be diamonds in the rough. Their potential and overall can actually be higher than what's displayed here, or they can be a bust, and their potential and overall could be lower than the ranges. Your scouting will try to narrow those ranges down as we go through our scouting, and you may see those ranges tighten up. Obviously, high school kids have a larger spread here because they're unknown commodities. As you get up into the draft classes and you see a college senior, their ranges are much narrower.
Oh, so what you're trying to do here is you're trying to tighten up those ranges.
Exactly, yeah. So high school, that draft class, high school players will have the widest range initially for their overall potential.
Yeah, pretty much, Angel.
Because they haven't
Like
been
it's
playing that long.
yeah.
Exactly.
Pretty,
and
I mean, yeah, you can like follow the
much
player
longer,
apparently,
right? So you
and
move
see how
through
they
the
do,
classes,
and then you
get
can
to
redraft
JC,
them if you
college,
want.
1 and 2,
Something like
you get
that.
to
I'm not really
four-year
totally
sophomore,
sure,
you get to four-year
but,
junior like we have here, and then you get to 4-year senior. Those ranges will shrink. Their initial
Yeah, it was
starting
something.
ranges.
I don't know.
And
There's something like
additionally,
that. I really don't know.
once you're 100% scouted on these guys, those ranges will correspond to the draft classes as well. So obviously, 4-year seniors, those ranges will tighten the most. High school seniors the least, but they'll never be 100% like a single-digit number because we still want some fog of war there. We still want some unknown. In addition to the potential that these scouting reports could be
This probably just narrows down the
or they
present
may not be
and the future, maybe, when you scout them.
Additionally, on this screen,
Totally.
other things you see, secondary positions are unknown. So at this point, we don't know where else Mauricio Vizcaino can play. In the bottom left, we start getting into the players' interest in signing. So you may be familiar with
that's sick
MTO off-season free agency, but the players' interest in signing kind of dictates the bonus.
I mean, you
amount
talk about
which we'll
redoing
get
this
into
system. I
shortly.
mean,
This is
goddamn,
also
bro.
new functionality, right?
It's all new functionality. It's all part of the new
This is
signing
sick,
system.
bro.
So we don't know his interest in signing yet. We don't know his bonus demand yet. Again, in the bottom left. Signing motivation is something new. Essentially, it's whether the player is more, he has a priority for being drafted earlier in the draft, or he has a priority for the bigger signing bonus. You know, so it's either money or prestige in a sense, right? Doctor exam is kind of what we're referring to there is
Health.
the physical.
Yeah.
Now, this is another piece of fog war that's being introduced because players can opt out of the physical. So if they opt out and you draft them, you don't know at that point whether they're healthy or injured. So you may draft them if they're opted out, and then you might find out after you draft them that they're
Well, if they're
injured.
opted out, you
So
just wouldn't
Doctor
draft
exam
him.
that's gonna tell
Why
us
take the risk,
someone,
right?
Right,
whether they
well,
opted out or not. Okay.
Exactly, yeah. And then injury risk was there previously. It's just the rate at the chance that they could get.
That's what a fully like scouted person looks like.
So what's the most important thing here in this new screen? Is it their draft ranking?
All right, so what you're going to see is in the upper right-hand corner, the draft ranking. They are aligned right now with MLB and your own organization's ranking. We rank the top 200 prospects, and we are aligned with that as your team on the first week. So they'll be a perfect match. What happens as you scout, your board will change. You know, it changes dynamically based on the scouting. So this prospect right here may be ranked number 3 by MLB. After 5 weeks,
He might
6
be
weeks,
33.
he might be 33. He might be number 1.
Yeah.
That's going to be what your
interesting.
scouting department is going to be responsible for.
Exactly. and we'll
Completely
demonstrate that
changed the
stuff.
system.
So
Wow,
let's
this is a
back
lot
up
better.
here
Holy hell.
Of the amateur player card, the all-new amateur player card. And let's add Mauricio Vizcaino to our scouting board.
This is sick.
All right, so you
Scouting per
see,
week, 3%
the
interest
top
per
here for
week.
Vizcaino, he's going to earn 3% interest per
Interesting.
week, and he's going to 100% scouting per week, which means he's going to be completely scouted in 1 week, and that's because our scout, Gene Papas, has very high efficiency, and it's a smaller range for a 4-year junior. So
All right.
if he was a high school player, he wouldn't be fully scouted in a week, but because he's a 4-year junior, we're able to do that.
All right, what about this third priority? What are we doing?
Third priority, let's jump back in. Now, this is our weakest scout, so we're going to, I guess we have no choice, but we'll demonstrate the scout position here. So we'll go into scout position. Again, Rangers, maybe outfielders, maybe, let's look for a closer here. A closer from the Central region. And we'll add him to
Confirm.
Now here you
Interesting.
see, it's if you scout a position, your accrual rate for interest and your accrual rate for scouting is much less because you're dealing with more people, which makes sense. The other thing of note here is that, and it's very important, for scout prospect, for individual scouting assignments, the priority that you put them in on the big board is very important. So if I click on Mauricio Vizcaino here and I move him to the top priority, you'll see that his interest has gone up to 3% per week. So you
interesting.
gain additional
Okay.
interest per week if you prioritize individual scouting assignments. So keep that in mind. The same doesn't occur for discovery and scouting positions here.
All right.
Okay, interesting.
So let's sim ahead a week and jump right back into it.
All right, here we go. In advance. So we're going to finalize the weekly scouting plan. Of course, you can skip it and set it to auto, but we're going to finalize it in advance here. So we'll go back to the calendar. We'll see how the Rangers do for a week. We're going to jump ahead here, sim through the date. Every Sunday, see, today is a day.
Okay, it tells you. That's good. That's good. It tells you.
It's on Sunday. So we'll
That's
hit
good.
Okay. We'll back out and we'll jump back into the scouting screen. So here we see
Oh,
Mauricio's now 100% scouted.
the potential.
His interest in signing with the Rangers is revealed. Plus, he's earned 3% interest that week. We see his 57%
Draft
interest
class
in signing
7.
with the Rangers. 100% scouted. His potential is 80 to 90. Overall, 61 to 71. Those are the ranges, and that is tight. That's as tight as they're going to get. So make your decisions based on that. We see that he has secondary positions of center field and right field now. Doctor exam is still pending. The physicals, what's the date again for those?
June. It's going to take place in June, so we'll see physicals take place in June.
Why is that?
Well, it's important because if a player opts into the physical and takes the physical, they are guaranteed 75% of the bonus allotment. So that's a major league rule. If they opt in and they're drafted, they're guaranteed 75% of their.
I don't even know that.
So that's also part of the logic. And why that date in particular?
Well, that's a scouting combine. So unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to get that into the game this year, but we were simulating that in our simulation here in the game.
So about 40 minutes left. That's fine.
Our drafted or undrafted prospects will either submit or deny. Or
so they've completely changed
Let's
this,
take a
which
look
is
at his
fire.
player card again now that he's 100% scouted.
Jumping back in here.
Average injury
also
risk.
Whoa, look at that. Look at the draft rank changing.
Top right, we see the draft ranks differing. We'll jump into that in a minute. But also in the bottom left, you see he has a balanced signing motivation. So he's not leaning towards a draft position or a bonus.
Really good contact here, really good speed is what you're seeing pretty much.
Average injury risk. So we'll back out of here and we'll actually
pretty good player, honestly.
Pull him off the board because he's 100% scouted. We
so
may add him later if we want to accrue more interest, but we're gonna.
I wonder if you still have the list.
You can see that he's looking for a 7.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I wonder if you still have the list of like the guys you've scouted or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you had in the old games. Because he kind of just seems like you just forget it. Oh, he's still there. Okay, he's still there. They probably have the tabs. You can see that too in the screen, I'd imagine.
So
missed it when they did the
prospect list.
It says pending right now.
Okay, so we're here in
so because it happens in June, he said, because that's when the official date is. So gotta wait till June.
Lists, and they help us sort our players.
This is sick
sort
though.
Our prospects, so it's easier for us to break down what we're doing here. So we have our all. Our all is all the prospects.
This is
we've either
this is a lot better.
MLB
I think everyone
ranked,
can say this is a lot
every
better.
Prospect that's known currently, and what I said known is that the ones that we currently know. As you
we know as a team.
I guess
know as a team, you're gonna find more. There's a lot more prospects.
I can see myself spending a lot of time just in this in general, just trying to find the best guys
out there that may be a big impact on your team. That'll expand.
So, what are the only prospects that show up on our board without us going to discover anyone?
Essentially, they're all the prospects that are known by our quote-unquote MLB Central system. So you'll see guys on here that are not ranked, right? So the MLB Central ranks the top 200, but as we rip through here, you'll see NR means that guys are unranked, and at some point, we'll get back into the ranked players.
All right, so as Clayton moved to the recently scouted page here, you can see that the prospects that are here are the prospects that were recently scouted, that were either discovered or scouted as a position. So every player that was a
got 99
player or that
scouting
was a
on that, man.
player that we didn't get a chance to see firsthand will now show up on this recently scouted list.
You'll see the ones on where it says draft rank and it has the Major League logo. It says NR. Those are players you discovered because they previously weren't discovered, so they had no rank. Now you can see that Texas.
They might just fly under the radar, though.
160. This guy was just discovered. Texas draft rank of 164. This guy not bad. A 74, kind of out of nowhere. So, in a sense, that's another way to get those diamonds in the rough. Is
that's a diamond in the rough right there.
Wow. It's a possibility. We still got a lot of way to go.
10% scouted. 10% scouted. So let's not assume anything.
Okay, so now you can see that we have a recommended draft prospects. And what this is all prospects that may fit our positional needs as a team. So if you look in the left-hand panel, you'll see the positional needs that we currently have are relief pitchers, closing pitchers, and left fielders.
And we set that.
We set that one. The CPU will set the bottom 3 ranked positions automatically.
But you can override that.
And you can override them if you.
This is so sick. This is so cool, bro.
So you see here we have relief pitchers, closing pitchers.
I can't wait to play this.
And that's all you're gonna see in the recommended because those are the positions we wanted to focus on.
Then we can sort here by our top 100 prospects by major league rank. This doesn't change. This is set right from the start of the franchise. So when you walk into this, your draft rank is set by MLB. It's basically
this guy's number 1,
100 rankings. And if we go on to the next list, this is where you're going to start seeing things diverge a little bit.
Okay.
This is our individual team rankings, and as Clayton is sorting,
so they won't take the MLB ones for the AI, I
our
guess.
rankings are starting to diverge a little bit from MLB rankings, and we're only a week into our scouting.
So you see our boy Mauricio here, 100% scouted, MLB draft rank of 3rd, and Texas now has him at 7th on their list. we'll look a little bit further down the list. The more you scout, the more you can see that these things diverge, and you'll find the busts and the diamonds in the rough start shining through.
So let's sim ahead, 8-10 weeks into the future to see how things diverge and who else gets discovered?
Yeah, we can do that. And one of the things that we have here, if by whatever reason you want to make your scouting assignments as auto, we have the ability to change that at any point from auto or back to manual. So
we should make it auto.
Clayton jump back in here. We're going to sim out of this.
I'm going to add number 1 boy here, Andres Moya.
So what is the best advice you have for when players are scouting in franchise mode this year?
I think it depends on your team needs. If you have like only one need, maybe you can get away with scouting the individual prospects solely. I think one thing you should focus on is your draft position. Like if you have the 20th pick, probably shouldn't be scouting guys 1, 2, 3, 4 in the draft because they'll be gone by the time they get to your pick. I would say be sure when you assign individual scouting assignments, like I'm doing here, move him to the top priority, get that extra interest per week. If you have a wide range of positions that you have needs in, it's not a bad idea to start out with the scouting position. You can sort of weed out.
I think that's low-key a good move, the scout position instead of discover or whatever. I guess if you need guys, obviously, if you drafted, scouted all of them, that makes sense.
One more point there with that, Ramon, is that I don't think we touched on this yet. Positional needs, if you scout a player that is one of your positional needs, you also accrue an extra 1% of interest each week by doing that.
Okay, interesting.
So right now, we don't have a relief pitcher. Let's change that up a little bit.
I have a second baseman on the board, so we'll swap out left fielder for second base. And he was 3%. He should be now 4% interest per week. So that's another little piece there. If you can match up your positional needs.
I wonder if any of these I wonder if you get an outfield if they play like a second base like Mookie Betts, they play a third base, so they play a first base, they play a catcher like Schwarber. I wonder if they have that too. You know what I'm saying?
Player's interest is,
because I feel like they wouldn't have that, but I'm just curious, or if you play a second base, you could play the whole infield or something. So
okay, we're gonna advance out of here. We're gonna skip scouting and set it to auto. We're gonna advance a few weeks here. Yes, I want to skip scouting and set it to auto. Okay, so we went ahead just a couple of weeks. We'll jump back
2
and
weeks.
take a quick look here. So we're looking at a third baseman, Jeremy Dozier. We see he's 41% interest, 38% scouting progress.
Looks terrible.
The MLB rank had him at 111. Texas has him at 125. But let's change the prospect just to look at some of these other rankings here.
Clay, you want to do me a
third
favor
on the list.
Show our fans some of the changes here that we've made with the CPU logic.
Falls on the 8, that guy.
Take a look at maybe our number 2 MLB ranked prospect. Let's go to him. And what we rank him as in our internal rank is number 1. Since we're using 30-team control, we can also take a look at other teams and see how they're scouting, because our scouting system is dynamic.
Let's take a
what
look.
What you're going to see is that you're going to see all 30 teams are going to have individual scouting reports on each player. They can be widely different. They can be the same, just like real baseball. Everything can change here.
Let's take a look in here and see how the
Braves are not doing it right.
So we had them number 1. The Braves currently have.
How many picks they have, bro? God damn.
Yeah, so you see a little bit of a change here. If we go through and you go to a couple other teams, you're going to see that that'll change even more. And again, it's based on your scouting. So who are you scouting? What prospects are being scouted? That's going to change your draft rankings. So as Clayton's going through this, that was one of the logic changes that we made.
It seems pretty cool.
Completely revamped CPU logic for scouting. Our CPU logic is completely different. Everything has changed. There's a lot more that's going on under the hood now than it's ever been.
So there's still only 6 rounds in the draft, it looks like, but I'd love to see the actual draft. I wonder if they're going to do that.
Dynamically by the CPU. They're positioning players in places where they feel they're going to get the most bang for the buck. That's one of Clayton's favorite terminologies and terms.
Bang for the buck.
Bang for the buck. So you're going to see that CPU
27, bro.
Again,
27 overall.
This is a user playing
was that me
against
out there, bro?
CPU,
Jesus.
And you're trying to outsmart the CPU.
Yeah, we can also see here went to the Pirates, and the Pirates have him at number 4. We had him number 1. A couple other teams had him 2. He was 3, but you'll start seeing the more further we get in here, some bigger divergences.
That's the first round pick, bro. It's
so
OP.
Pittsburgh sees Gary Weinstein as number. So you can see here Pittsburgh sees Leandro Gil.
62. Yeah.
You're a Yankee fan.
Leandro Gil. MLB rank was 11. Pittsburgh has him at.
So I wonder if they're gonna
down
go off the
62
MLB rank
based
or
on
their own
his
like
primary
personal team
scouting.
rank. Probably their personal team rank. So
So we're back
I
out
wonder if
of
the
here.
whole league had some guy like at fucking
All right, so we've seen
100th and he
weeks
was like
ahead,
50th, you know.
and we've got a lot of fully scouted prospects.
So we're looking at week 9 of 14. You have 14 weeks, essentially 14 chances to set up your scouting big board. So make the right decisions. Choose your strategy wisely.
I wish you could
Here we
scout
got
after this.
Leandro
Maybe you can. I don't know. That'd be
Santiago,
cool.
Small divergence. Carlos Gonzalez. MLB had him 5th. We have him 9th.
That'd be cool if you could get like a
See
bunch
that
of prospects in the
Sid
offseason and then just go
Brignoni, he's
ham when
gone
the
up about
season
20
starts or whatever.
slots.
But I don't know.
But yeah, this is the CPU logic from the Rangers because we're on auto. You can see they're targeting, you know, MLB had Carlos ranked at 5th. We have the 4th pick, so they're targeting picks in our draft range. I think our 3rd round pick, if I'm not mistaken, is roughly around 109 to 117 range.
Plus, once people play enough, they'll understand like what is, you know, the
So
best and how to do it properly and all that stuff. You
We're
just
looking
gotta
at
give
the
it
top
time
100
to,
prospects here, the
you
MLB
know,
rank.
because people will understand as soon
You
as
know,
we get later in the
initially,
game's life,
Moya
you know.
was 1, he's gone to 4.
But this is a lot better though.
Omar Lopez.
Better than the old system. You really just click on a player,
7.
scout him.
He's all the way up to
Hope he's
number 1
good.
in Texas sports. So
One gets new
probably who I'll be
players,
targeting
get
at
'em from
this
there.
point. It's probably who I'll be
And after like the
targeting
3rd or
at
4th round, you're just guessing
So
at that point, you know.
the
This
ranking
is a lot better
for the
though.
amateurs, I mean, it's all part of the player metric, the new and improved player metric, actually.
This is just a lot better
so of course
system
its
to have
potential,
added, you know.
Plays a role.
Which is fire.
Initial starting out overall, and obviously age as well, because the younger you
I want to say the
are,
draft works though.
years you
Probably
have
the same,
to
bro.
progress to that, like those peak years. So that's kind of what we're looking at for these player rankings.
So let's get to the draft and see what's
Hey,
changed
there we go.
with the draft, because I hear there's some big changes, Tim.
Oh, we're excited about the draft. So I'm gonna have Clayton sim right up until draft day.
Sim the draft
There,
day.
sim through.
And we're here. We're at the MLB draft, which now takes place during MLB All-Star break.
Yeah, so this is gonna be
Oh, yeah, I
exciting.
forgot. You
So
got a
I'm
lot of
really
time.
happy
Forgot
and
about that.
proud to show this off. I know our entire team is. So I'm gonna have Clayton jump right in here. We're gonna go to the draft.
As the Rangers, of course.
Unfortunately, I guess here. I'm a
Back
Yankee
through.
fan.
Go to draft.
All right, we're gonna go into the draft, and the first thing you'll notice
Add
is the
prospects.
draft queue. So
This is fire.
we're excited about this. Just like if you play fantasy sports and you have fantasy drafts, you know, you want to set up your draft queue ahead of entering the draft. Be a bit more organized and be more specific about the targets
is sick.
that you want to pick during the draft.
So as we go through here, before you start, you can add in your prospects, any prospect that you want. So you can set your own draft board the way you'd want it to be. I'll have Clayton just add a few players on there that he's targeting as a Ranger fan, who he wants
Again,
to pick, or his
yeah,
picks.
on draft day, again, you have the list of all. You have the team rank, and you have basically any player you've scouted or discovered.
This
right?
is really
So
cool.
Looking at my Texas Rangers rankings here, of course, I have to add my boy Omar Lopez.
You probably should add a
right
ton of
fielder.
guys too, bro. That's what I'm probably
Left center
thinking,
fielder,
right?
Perfect. 49% interest.
What if they limit you?
Is JC1, JUCO 1. So we're going to add him to the draft queue. Who else looks good here? Moya. I mean, I could add these guys, but again, 8% scouted, 8% scouting. There's a lot of risk involved there. So I might try and save those guys for later in the draft, or if they're still there, or let other teams take them because they're kind of unknowns. Moya, Texas, another second baseman here. Texas has him ranked 4, so I'm going to add him to the draft queue as well.
And before we go on, if you look down below, you'll see the doctor exams. Here's
Oh,
where
yeah,
I see
opt-outed.
opted out.
Yeah, I didn't see
or
that.
Injured. So if we go back,
Good call. Didn't even see that.
right there, Moya is an
Injured.
doctor
Oh,
exam.
shit.
So this could impact his stock and his
Good
quality
call
as
there.
a player after we move forward.
So I think
Dude,
you
I didn't even
would-
see
at this
that,
point
bro.
You'll probably have, depending on how wide range. If you only targeted individual prospects, you're probably going to look at between 30 to 45 fully scouted players.
Depends on the class too.
Exactly. So obviously, high school players take longer to scout. 4-year seniors take less time. So keep that in mind as well. Maybe you want to focus on 4-year seniors because you can get more accurate scouting reports on more players by targeting.
Dude, this system is
But
really interesting.
again,
It's
maybe
really
just
cool
not
though.
those,
I like it a lot.
Really great prospects who are high school players. So we'll see here. Yeah, pointing out that my boy Moya is injured. That's a pause for thought there. I also see that Weinstein actually opted out of his doctor exam, so I don't know if he's injured or healthy.
You don't
but
know what it is.
I know for sure Moya is hurt, so I might lean towards Weinstein because maybe he's not hurt. Who else we have? Cooper, 4-year senior, 90 to 95 potential.
He's injured too.
Oh my God.
Damn. Decisions.
Rangers, who you scouting? These guys are healthy. I better add them on just because they're healthy.
So Clayton's going to populate his draft queue. And as he's finished populating his draft queue, he can also go through here and modify it. So he can move players up, he can move players down on his
Dude, that looks so cool. Round 1 on the clock. That looks fire. With the first selection.
Cooper, what I have at
2023 MLB draft.
Oh, I gotta go with the shirt thing. I'm gonna move Cooper up.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder if like they had an audio. That'd be so sick. Dude.
Scouting for a while. So let's move him up.
All the way up.
I can't go number 1. No, come on. Mauricio Vizcaino. All right, so I have my draft queue set. I would probably.
Dude, I bet the screen's gonna look sick. This draft screen. I hope it looks sick.
My third round pick or 4th round pick I have, because I know I have no second round pick, but for time's sake, I'm just gonna focus on the 1st round pick.
And if Clayton decides to make changes after he gets into the draft screen, we could also make some more changes.
Oh, that's sick.
All new draft screen.
Oh, here we go.
This is all new functionality.
Dude, this looks so sick.
Correct?
All part of the drafting experience.
So here we are in the all-new draft screen in MLB The Show 23. What's
that's so
happening
sick, dude.
One thing I will point out, there's a lot happening, but just a reminder, the top 6 picks have been set by the draft lottery that's happening under the hood. So Texas should have been 7th, but they moved up in the draft lottery. Thank you, draft lottery. And now number 4.
Rockies are at 9, bro. We got the 9th pick, guys.
So there's a ton here. So look, so we have
the 9th pick when we start this.
Upper left-hand corner.
It's always 9. It's always 9.
On the clock. So our Pirates are pick number 1. They're on the clock. Their logo's up there.
Dude, that looks really clean, bro.
Right,
that
so
looks clean, Chad. That looks
10
clean.
seconds. CPU draft picks, they're allotted 10 seconds per pick.
Good.
Users are allotted 4 minutes per pick.
4 minutes, that's
in
good.
In the right corner, you'll see that the Nationals are up next with pick number 2, and we also display their logo. And we're all set to go here. We have 30 teams on the draft board for round 1. We're looking through our queue. When we're ready to start our draft, we start the functionality by pressing the start button.
This looks clean. I like that they're doing this like this.
Here we go. We're still adjusting.
Right. So we're gonna start the draft, and there may be a little surprise.
A little surprise?
What's going on?
What is this?
So we wanted to include. I mean, the reveals went over well with the MTO offseason free agency. For the top 3 picks of the draft, there will be some sort of reveal. So the Pirates.
They took Carlos Gonzalez.
Carlos Gonzalez.
Now you can see the difference between what we had scouted and what they did. So they must have ranked him number 1 on their board, and what we had ranked him was number 9.
Interesting.
So we'll advance past Carlos, number 2 pick. Again, a reveal.
If the user has a pick in the top 3, that'll pause, and you'll get to select your player, and then this will come up.
The Nationals for sure a bust. For sure.
Wow.
No doubt. No doubt.
For sure a bust.
Oh, 11th. You went 11th ranked player.
Look, he throwing.
Starting pitcher. That's okay. I mean.
Yeah, so this is the actual reveal in the gameplay trailer. Gotcha. All right, let's go. Who's next? We got
Nationals
one more.
Got William Gale, the 3rd pick, right before
Sky Ramon.
the Rangers pick. Who do we got? Detroit goes with
Waiting.
Omar Lopez.
They took my
They
top
took your
pick.
guy. 1 pick before.
Tigers.
1 pick before.
So now I'm left. Like, do I want an injured player? Do I want an opted out player? There's a lot of risk there.
Decisions.
But
That's funny.
So you'll see
Yo,
we have a
you're on the
star here.
clock.
So every time a user pick comes up,
They took all of his guys. Yo.
4 minutes. I'm on the
But you
clock,
could also
guys.
spend this time adding more guys too.
No, there's no pause here. So what we're going to do, Clayton, you want to demonstrate here some of the things that we can do while the timer's going on?
So you can move over to the left. You know, anybody who's been drafted, you can see their card. You can dive in here.
Timer's still going.
You can also go to the player card for these players, and the timer is still going.
Pressure.
After they're drafted, do their real ratings show up? Or is it still the scouted ratings?
It's still the scouting, and we will get to that
Ooh.
later.
Probably when you sign him, it probably shows
So
up.
who you
Oh my
Well,
terrible pick.
All right, who's left? I got Mauricio Vizcaino,
He's
my
healthy.
boy.
Let's
be
go
healthy.
for it.
I think we gotta go for
I need
him.
a left fielder.
Go for him.
I
Making
want,
this- you
I want
making
my
this
boy
difficult.
Bubba Thompson to steal 100 bases this year. But
He also got
let's
the pitcher,
see.
too.
You know, this
We
Now,
got-
if you look at
this guy,
Vizcaino, you'll notice that his bonus demand, if you go back here, his bonus demand is 7.6 million. Bonus demands don't always align directly with the slot, so sometimes you have
was that like
to
9 or
be
something?
smart
I
on
think?
how you draft, because if you take all your picks over slot, bonus demand's higher than what the slot is, you're not going to have the bonus allotment to sign these players. So there's a little strategy involved
Little strategy.
Yeah.
as well.
Clayton, go back to the picture that you had. Was it Gary? Look at Gary's
4.5.
projected overall, 81.71. That's a pretty tight
That's a high starting
potential. That's a
overall.
he could be pitching for you in the majors very soon.
He's almost like
But he
day
opted out.
one. He's almost
He
day one.
opted out.
He's got a low
That's the
demand.
Opted
That's
out.
the risk.
That's the risk.
Another thing we'll mention too. So the interest level, the initial interest level, there's logic that goes into that. I believe the draft class is involved in that.
Yeah, this is gonna be entertaining, bro. This is gonna be entertaining.
Roster or in the minor
Playing like,
leagues,
oh,
or
please don't
something,
pick him.
look at
Oh
that
my God,
5
terrible
years to
pick.
see. The player obviously doesn't want to play for a team where they're blocked, so they're
Exactly.
looking for places where they can jump
they
right
can
in.
go.
And
Organizational strategy.
21-year-old
takes
left
effect.
fielder.
I think it's also
This is sick,
basically
bro.
just where MLB Central
Can we make this like a whole like,
plays into their
fun
interest.
event, bro?
What you gonna
Thinking
do?
of
You
the ways
gotta-
we
you
just
gonna
edit
take
this and make it sick.
21-year-old left fielder, or you gonna roll the dice?
Moya injured. I like Moya.
93.
Lots of
I mean,
potential.
why he seems like a sure thing, except they opted out. Cooper, what do we? Oh my, 90 to 95 potential.
But look
If
at that overall.
it's accurate,
If it's
remember
accurate. It might
my
not be accurate.
scouts. Whoopsies.
He's
a
22.
pitcher.
I wish you could see who scouted
Which
him.
scout scouted him? It was off.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, I think
pitcher.
I'm going. You know,
Rangers need
You're
pitching.
not going to take the
Rangers
picture.
always need
You're
pitching.
not going to
Are
take
you
the picture
serious?
with the
Rangers
81
are
overall.
Rangers are stacked at pitching right
You,
now.
what?
I'm going
You're
loyal.
okay.
I'm
All right.
loyal to Mauricio.
Do
here.
it.
Oh, I got a trophy too.
There you
We got
go.
a
Nice
future of
trophy.
the franchise. So we don't get a reveal, but we get a little pop up here, just a little payoff right there.
My
So
dog is currently barking
this,
right now.
Well, you see here.
Oh no.
That's Mauricio.
How dare you?
So
call
Clayton,
Mauricio Mario?
we just drafted. I can't say his name.
Mauricio.
We just drafted Mauricio. What's happening next?
All right, so this is actually the only time the draft pauses. So you can sit here and you can admire your draft pick for as long as you want. He won 7.4 million. We know that his 80 to 90 potential. Well, we hope he's 80 to 90 potential. We know his overall 671. But we're gonna advance out of here.
All right, Clayton, you want to show them some of the new functionality we had into the draft screen here. So if Clayton presses the option button, it's going to bring up draft options here. He can send
that's
to
cool.
the Rangers' next pick, or he can send the rest of the draft.
So we'll submit
I think
that
watching the
to
picks would be kind of sick though.
I want to see what happened to that picture and what
Alright.
his ratings really look like. and see
Yeah,
if
that's what I'm
they made the
saying.
Right choice.
So
Well,
you
we
can see our
don't- we
draft
won't-
queue's empty.
So we won't know that yet, Ramon, but we will check it out later. Just remember his name? I know it was
Weinstein?
Weinstein. Who's the pitcher? Moya was the pitcher.
Moya.
Right?
They're gone now. They're gone. They're off the queue.
Well, actually, see, here's the other thing. We can go and see where they were picked while we're on the clock here. So we'll go back to first round. Moya
Moya
went
was
8.
8.
Weinstein 13. Wait,
So
it was
Cubs,
Kansas City
Cubs
and
and Kansas
All
City.
right,
All
well,
right,
go
remember
Cubs.
that. Remember that. Kansas City and the Cubs.
So let's go back to the third round with our pick. Obviously, everybody in my queue is gone, so I'm going to jump back in. My team ranks, I still have a 49th ranked right fielder. Let's see who I scouted. 99 for relief pitcher.
He's at the 82
Do I
mark,
go
so
for a sure thing reliever, or do I go for someone I don't know?
As
Don't know
Clayton's-
much about.
As Clayton's looking at his draft list here, one of the things I wanted to point out was that you'll see closing pitchers and relief pitchers will not be drafted by the CPU in the first round. And that's because more often than not, relief pitchers and closing pitchers are not drafted in the first round.
yeah.
So that is on purpose. Even if their draft rank is higher, we leave them there. They'll be around.
It's interesting to know too. Because yeah, you're taking hitters every time. First round, 100%.
I'm going to go for Andres here.
At least the
I
first
said
couple teams
85,
should.
98 potential.
Yeah.
I'm
Taking
like,
a risk.
Maybe.
Taking a risk.
Maybe he's only 20% scouted. But
All right, do
I'm
it.
gonna draft.
Opted
So
out
we draft him
unknown.
directly from the prospect list here. So we got Andres Niev.
Low bonus demand.
All right. So the other thing, we're gonna just bypass.
Little
the
bonus
draft
then,
here.
only
We're gonna see who else.
391k.
So let's complete. Again, you can exit the draft or you can go back in. You can see all the picks.
It's pretty cool though. So just 6 rounds like normal, unless you have a competitive bounce round pick.
Now that we exit the draft, just one last note on that. So we have new intelligent CPU/auto draft logic. It's based on basically what Tim mentioned. You know, relief pitchers are very rarely drafted in the first round, so we've essentially excluded them from CPU and auto logic. The draft slot plays a role. The bonus demands play a role. Scouting position, blocked positions. We actually look ahead to see if there's a top prospect or someone at that position who 4 years from now would prevent you from being a starter at that position. So that's part of it. Organizational strategies, rebuild, playoffs, and essentially the prospect's interest in signing you also plays in as well.
So let's jump to the last phase, which is signing these prospects.
Yeah, Ramon. So this is one of those things that have bothered me for years. We've never had a realistic signing draft pick stage.
Nope.
We just offered them a low contract. They've accepted it. Now you have to work. Just like real life, there's signability risk here. As you can see down below, that signed draft picks is locked, and it's locked purposely. We open it up a few days after our MLB All-Star events.
There's also a similar lock on the scouting big board. So basically every Sunday during the regular season, those are the only days you can access the scouting.
Okay.
So I really want to jump into this. So this is a fun part of the game here. And let's go right to our signing board. All right, so we just entered into our signing big board. All right, so right now we have auto logic in, and what you're seeing is that
And my boy Mauricio.
and his boy Mauricio is in here. He's already locked into that #1 slot. While you're on the signing board, you can also accumulate additional interest.
Ooh, that's
accumulate
interesting.
Additional scouting. So if you look above each panel, you can see a 3% interest per 3 days.
You drafted the 6th round. I don't think it, guys.
Our signing board takes place
That's
every
sick.
3 days, not per week, every 3 days. So Clayton's moving his draft picks around a little bit
drafted.
here. He's prioritizing the way he feels makes the most sense.
I'm gonna add Sargent on here because he wasn't ranked by the MLB, so he has a very low bonus demand, so I can maybe get him under slot.
So this is where the
Interesting.
gamesmanship comes into the game. What we want to do here is we want to try to have as much bonus allotment available for your prized picks. So what you want to do is try to sign those players, those prospects, below bonus demand, when and if possible. And to do that, you try to find the players that have the highest interest already. And we have them locked off right now. We can't even offer a bonus right now until that prospect has hit at least the 50% threshold.
So the work's not done.
Never done.
Baseball's different. What I've also noticed
interesting.
is we still don't know their true overall and potential yet.
You got that, Ramon.
So just one thing to mention quick, we were set to auto when we came into the screen. You know, if we were set to manual, it wouldn't have been pre-populated like this. But you see here, Sargent has 46% interest. We really want to build up his interest to get to that 50% so we can offer him a contract.
This is really interesting.
He and Cortez are only 20% scouted, so it would be nice to learn more about them. Again, on the signing big board, you can continue to scout these guys. It may affect how much I want to offer them as far as the bonus goes.
So we're going to sign somebody or we're going to sim a week?
Well, we have 21 days until our signing deadline, so we have some time, but
I'm going to take a shot at Mauricio off the hop here because if I don't sign him, I'll be heartbroken. So we'll jump in here to the offer contract. All right, so Mauricio, one thing we'll point out, you see MLB suggested draft pick slot value. Now that
$7 million.
he was drafted number 4 overall, and that equates to a $7 million slot value. And like I mentioned a while back, those slot values, you add them up, that's the total bonus allotment, right? So that's how we get to 9.49 million. It's 7 million plus the slot values of all the other Rangers picks. So Vizcaino, he wants above slot, which worries me, and he's only 57% interest. And there is an effect in there if you lowball a player and he declines your offer. There's potential that his interest in signing with you will decline, which might make it that much harder to sign him.
I don't know. When you're 21, you just got the 4th overall
Even in the
pick.
signing process, no guarantees.
Yeah, I think you're signing.
You see as I start to really lowball Mauricio here,
The interest goes down a little bit.
his
Yeah.
interest in signing goes down. So where I'm barely past 50% here. So what do? Do I try and save some money for other prospects? Do I give him exactly slot or slightly above? You want to? Oh, okay.
So
your
one
first
thing,
we're
gonna
go for top 5
so
pick.
as Clayton came in, you saw that the slider was already way over to the right. The reason for that is you have the bonus allotment, and you're only allowed to exceed that bonus allotment if you've already signed other prospects and you have an additional bonus allotment left over. So he has very limited bonus allotment right now. He has his slot value plus the 5% that's tacked onto the total allotment. So that's why his max offer right now.
Apparently, they just said in the chat, this is also in March to October,
left him on the
apparently.
board,
Everything's
maybe
shown
a
as in
couple
both
more
franchises in
weeks,
March to
build some
October,
interest up.
apparently. So I don't
Might be
know.
able to get him a little cheaper.
Could save some money.
I
Interesting.
normally would do that, but for the sake of the stream, I will do it now. Let's go for it, Mauricio. 7.48 million. Come on, buddy.
We signed him.
Oh, look at my boy. Love that beard. So here's a little payoff for signing him. We'll back out of here, and he's removed from the board.
Do you
So
see his
I'm gonna
potential
advance a
now?
week. I want to try and get Sargent. I
Like,
want
when do you
him
see their
to
actual,
above
like,
50%
potential?
So that I can essentially
If it's a bust or
give
not.
him a lowball offer and get some money for other prospects. I'm going to remove Cortez.
As you see that Clayton's removing prospects off the list, you're seeing that interest is changing for the other remaining prospects. The fewer prospects you have on, it shows that you're focused on that prospect, so their interest goes up. It shows that the team is interested in you, and you're interested in the team. So when we got 2 players on the board versus 3 and versus 1, we'll see if there's a difference there.
This seems like a massive list from a logic standpoint under the hood to make all these changes happen.
There was so much going on that Tim and I can't even keep track of it. If we're honest, every day we're like, wait a second, how did that piece work? How did that piece work? We have to dive back in the notes, and it's been crazy, but we're definitely excited.
Interesting.
Phenomenal engineering.
This is cool,
We
bro.
advanced 3 days. You have 21 days from that point, like it said on the signing big board. Today is the day to sign draft picks, so let's do that.
Yep.
Jump back in to sign draft picks. You can see here on the info panel, Mauricio Vizcaino. Let's give a little shout out to my boy there. He's my top pick, so he'll always show up on that signed draft picks panel, but I've already signed him, so I don't have to worry about him at this point. So jump in. Sargent's at 52% now.
He was at 46, so a little bump.
But it also looks like I think his draft rank went down a little bit, so he may not be as good as the 70-ish number that I think he was on the previous screen. But he's 52%. We can offer a contract. I don't think I can lowball him too much.
You can't.
Can't.
Limited.
He's blowing.
Essentially,
He's
for his
lowballing the slot though.
406,000, but because he's like wasn't ranked, he's kind of a nobody. He doesn't have high bonus demands, right? So we're at 304K. That's right around his. That is his bonus demand, and that's
Let's do it.
the lowest I can do. Let's see if he'll take it, because that'll save me 100K for other prospects.
Denied.
Oh.
Now his interested in change, and because we offered him what his bonus demand was, so
Exactly.
he wasn't feeling like he was.
You're not valuing him.
He wants more.
That's the way that he feels. That's
Well,
not the way that
so
we feel.
if I had offered
ownership.
him, say, half of his, not that I could do that, but let's say 75% of his bonus demand, there's a potential that his interest level would have dropped here. But because I still,
Interesting.
even though it was low for the slot, even though I offered him his exact bonus demand, his interest in signing with me didn't.
Nice. What's
down.
next?
All right, so I'm going to advance out of here. I wasn't able to sign Sargent, but I'm going to switch back to auto. Skip signing and set to auto. And then the signing deadline is August 1st. So let's sim ahead here. Trade deadline's coming up too, so there's a lot of action on the button here.
And it's still, the game will still auto stop before you pass through those big
That's
milestone
good.
dates when you can't do anything anymore, correct?
So if you're set to auto, it's not going to force you to stop on those things.
It'll just
If
prompt
you're on
you.
manual, it'll
stop.
pop
Okay.
up. So if you set to auto, we're assuming you don't
You don't care.
wanna
Okay,
deal
gotcha.
with it.
Interesting.
All right, so we've passed the signing deadline. We have a new screen now. It's the view draft pick screen.
So
we're
Ramon, you wanted to know?
jumping
Want to
here.
know?
We're gonna see how good my scouts were and how good other scouts were.
after the
So
date, you
let's
can
jump
see.
in. So Mauricio,
Ooh.
well, he got an 83 potential. You know, a little bit low on the 80 to 90 range. So you can see
Second
that
pick was pretty
clearly,
good. 88.
his potential never falls right in the middle. You see Andres Niev, 88 potential.
80 on
What
the
a
higher
pick.
side.
What a pick. Amazing. 77. My scouts look like they've done a decent job. Cortez on the low side of the potential.
But we need to go look at the Cubs.
We need to look at the Cubs.
We need to look at the Cubs.
And we need to look at...
And the
jump through
Tigers.
to see-
90.
So you see here, Dana McGrath, his potential is actually below his scouted potential. So the Mets got a bust there, but then they found kind
They
of a
got
diamond there.
they
The 90
got a
potential.
90
was
is
their
crazy.
third pick. So we'll keep going. See if there's any notable players here. Oh,
94.
94 later.
Third
Damn.
baseman.
Late too, late pick.
Oh man, the Nationals cleaned up.
Well, their third round pick, they got hosed. They got a 62 potential when the range was 71 to 84.
Bust.
They got a
But
bust
that
there.
starting,
but
starting
the top
pitcher.
2 picks, not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. Now the Cubs. Weinstein.
78.
He was
he's
a
on the
bust.
low end.
He's on the
79.
low
in the
end.
range, but I have a feeling that he actually was healthy. But we'll see. And then we're going to the Royals now.
And here you can see their true overalls too if you access the player card.
Royals, Moya. Okay. So
Not bad,
just
though.
remember, the injury doesn't always have a long-term effect. In this case, it obviously didn't because he fit into that scouted potential range.
Not bad, though. 86
Anything
is
else
not
you
bad
wanna
at
point
all.
out
That's
at this
pretty
screen,
good.
at the view draft pick screen?
94.
Because this main screen here, it shows you who was right, who was wrong, how good was
This
your
is
scouting.
what I like to see. Astros with a first-round bust. 73 potential. I like to see that.
And that's a terrible draft class. Holy hell for the Astros.
So this is the screen where you can go and look after the signing period for draft picks is over to see who was right, who was wrong, and what actual player ratings and potentials are before you get to the end of the
This is
season
cool,
and
bro.
everybody's thrown into the roster.
Correct. This is our way to check our scouts to make sure that they're doing their job and to see how accurate they were.
Let's find the best pick in the draft real quick since we're already here.
Let's go through. Let's look for the first couple picks. See how many more busts we can
Ooh,
see.
90, 18 years old.
Wow.
What does he
66
got?
Ooh, let's see what he's
overall.
got. What
Overall,
type of
what is it?
repertoire does he
66
have?
66 overall. Wow. Each draft class is unique. We've seen
91.
95 to 99 potential players that
That's
are
crazy, bro.
70, 71 overall. So there's all kinds of potential here.
Nice.
Lopez was stolen from me.
It was stolen from you.
93,
Right before
bro.
my pick.
You were right.
Damn.
You
I
were
had
right.
93 potential, 65 overall right fielder. Hello.
So
At
closing
19.
closing out the new draft process.
That's
Anything
really
else you
cool,
wanna
bro.
know?
That's really sick.
No, I think speaking for Clayton and myself and the entire
Completely
team,
changes the
we're really
game.
proud of the work that we put in. We're excited for the community to get their hands on this and start playing the game. We think that they're going to really enjoy this feature and all the facets of it.
I'll say that I couldn't wait to actually talk about this because I know we had mentioned amateur draft, and I hope it's very clear at this point that this is scouting, this is player progression logic, this is draft day experience, this is signing logic, and there's all
That's
all
sick,
the,
though.
Like to say signing big board in the signing system, but there's all the logic that goes into there, and the CPU logic to sign, CPU logic to draft, everything. So there's so much under the hood that we basically didn't sleep for 3 months. I'm burnt out, but I'm excited about it.
But that's not it. You also had all the CBA changes, the Otani rule, full implementation, the new playoff format, the new draft lotteries in. The draft is now taking place around All-Star break like it's supposed to. You had AAA realignment. So much work has went into franchise mode, and that's
Trade.
and March to October.
Yeah, remember it's across both modes. There's also the trade logic improvements that we're very excited about. There's the roster.
A lot of interesting
tuning,
things.
there's
We're gonna have to go in and
roster
test all
improvements
these
as
things.
well,
It seems
so
like
Yeah, and we want to see your diamonds
But,
in the rough and who
the draft
going
looks
to
a lot
draft
better,
the
man.
best players.
a
We wanna see
hugely
when the game
upgraded
comes out.
system.
Thank you, Clayton
So
and Tim. Also, thank you to Kirby. And
Looks a
to
lot
Drew
better,
and
bro.
everybody
A lot
who joined
better.
us for this very special
major
premiere.
part
We're
that I
gonna
think we
March to
needed in that
October.
mode.
Franchise mode, presentation, and commentary. Remember, you will see all of these features in these modes. Thank you. Until next time, we're out.
I mean, just massive changes. I think really need changes for the draft because the draft system in the old games is just terrible, bro. It's just literally terrible. So I think them improving it really helps it out a lot. A lot of stuff to cover there. I mean, the draft. I mean, they literally completely reworked it. So much better, so more efficient to find players you need. I mean, they did make it a little harder though to actually get some of the guys that you want at least. which is pretty exciting. So I definitely think they made it a lot better, though. If I gotta be honest, they definitely made that a lot better, and I'm excited to see, you know, like what you can do with that, how you can like manipulate that in your favor. Yeah, I agree, Angel. That did look really good. I mean, I'm very excited now. I mean, my Rockies were at the 9th pick. I think we'll be pretty strong going into the actual season. We'll see if we get any busts on there, but yeah, I mean, lots to go over there. The presentation looks really cool. The commentary, once again, really cool. And then the franchise mode just looking absolutely crazy good. So excited to play that mode. We're only 2 weeks away, chat. I mean, we're literally only 2 weeks away from the game coming out, which is, you know, kind of insane, kind of mind-blowing. So personally, I'm excited to see what we have for the future. But I mean, yeah, that was insane, chat. But that's gonna do it for me here. Hope you guys enjoyed that stream. Obviously, I mean, they went crazy. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They were going crazy. So I'm excited to see, you know, when we actually get into that mode and see what it's like. But yeah, they just talked about the draft, really. They mainly talked about the draft. That was pretty much it. So I don't know. Some people probably see it as an L. Maybe some people probably see it as a W. A lot of people want Online Franchise back, but I don't think it will ever come back, to be honest. So I was really optimistic on that one. Draft changes I was expecting. I was glad to see that. They said they got improved trade logic. There was a lot of CBA stuff. The new playoff format. I forgot to mention that. There were a lot of other things as well that I'm forgetting. But I thought that was a W. Personally, I thought that was a W. I'm really excited to hop in there and get going on my team and my franchise. And we'll see what moves we can make, you know what I'm saying? But that's going to do it for me, chat. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream, obviously. Been live for what, about like almost 2 hours now? So been in here for a minute. Hope you guys enjoyed this stream, and we'll be making a video on this tonight, going over the key points. I'll give you more of my thoughts on it, and we'll go from there. So hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back next week. What do we got next week? Actually, I don't even know what we got next week. Let's tune in real quick. I think it's like the dev thing, right? It's like the dev thing. I don't even know. I don't even know what we got next week. Isn't it like the dev trailer or something like that? I gotta find this now. Hold on. I gotta find this. Where's the thing at? Where's the schedule at? I don't know where the schedule is at. Let me see. Featured. There it is. Schedule. So the next one is the development team tournament. That's the next one. So interesting to see. Yeah, here we go. Go on over here. Boom, bada boom, bada bang. Yeah, the next one. Bada boom, bada bang. So the next one is the development team tournament or whatever. That's the next one. So excited to see that. And I think there's another one that they mentioned. There was like an updated one that they had on there. So I don't know. We'll probably be live for that. I'll see. I'll give an update on that on YouTube and Twitter. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. And we will see you next week. Obviously, we're going to be posting this weekend about the World Baseball Classic. So if you guys are excited for that, go ahead. Once again, go follow me on my Twitter for all the World Baseball Classic updates. And I'll be tweeting out everything else. So, you know, that'll do it for me. Game looks good. I know. But yeah, the game looks fire. Appreciate you hopping in here. But that's it for me, guys. Go follow me on my Twitter for the World Baseball Classic moves. Go follow the YouTube channel. And I'll see you guys in the next stream. Peace out, everyone.